Just me.
Our director, producer, part-time videographer is Gwen Lane. Today's technician is Mitch Taylor. Today's videographers are Daniel Daugherty and Gwen Lane. I'm Larry Shelton, along with analyst Mark Blanton, and today we are proud to bring you the first ever Group AA Division III championship game ever to be played at Legion Field in Gate City. As the John Handley judges will face our Gate City Blue Devils. John Handley, the Region II champion, reached this championship game by defeating R.E. Lee of Stomp. They also defeated Orange 38-9, Nottoway 33-8. Handley has a 48-man roster that includes 17 seniors. The Blue Devils reached this championship game by defeating Tazewell 13-12, Graham 9-0, and William Campbell 13-8. Gate City's 50-man roster includes 14 seniors. There are many contrasting facts about these two teams, and I'll only cover a few. Locality. John Handley is located in the northeast part of Virginia at Winchester, a sophisticated urban area of the state, a lot of money. Gate City, located in the rural southwest part of the state, blue collar, small farms, a lot of pride. Doesn't have anything to do with football, you say, or does it? On offense, John Handley features a wide open run and shoot, a lot of talent. Quarterback Brian Partlow has passed for 2,923 yards and 37 touchdowns this year. Both are Virginia High School League records. Tack on the 10 rushing touchdowns for a total of 47 touchdowns. This is another Virginia High School League record for a season. His twin brother Michael holds the Virginia High School League career record for pass receiving yards, 3,289, and touchdowns, 45. He needs only 3 more receptions to break another Virginia High School League record. And we'll pause right now as the Gate City High School Band from Legion Field in Gate City, Virginia presents our national anthem. As we were discussing John Handley's offense, Michael Partlow, the receiver of the twin brother combination, he also has 24 touchdowns this year, which is another single season Virginia High School League record. Handley averages 41.2 points per game. Gate City on offense, they have no one close to any Virginia High School League records or even team records. They're just a hard-working, blue-collar, ball-control offense. They average only 15 points per game. On defense, John Handley's offense has run up a lot of points, and really the defense has not been tested in a close game. Gate City has 5 shutouts within their 9 wins. They play hard, they swarm to the football. Records, John Handley is 13-0. Gate City is 9-4. Well, what does this have to do with today's game? It's yet to be seen. Both teams will have 11 young men on the field at the same time. One of these teams has a lot of talent. The other has a lot of pride, tradition, and heart. About 2 hours from now, the question will be answered. When at midfield, the Group AA Division III Championship Trophy will be presented. This broadcast, as have all of our Blue Devil playoff broadcasts, is presented to you by these fine sponsors. Gate City Blue Devil football on STE Cablevision Channel 30 is brought to you by State Line Graphics, offering the best service for your printing needs, located in Weber City, Virginia. By King Ford in Gate City, where you'll find the best prices on quality Ford cars and trucks. By Roberts Tire and Recapping. Fall is a great time for new tires from Roberts, like Firestone and Michelin. By Magnolia Place, the place where you'll find the perfect Christmas gift on East Jackson Street in Gate City. By Weber City Drug, great prescription service, also featuring UPS and fax for your convenience. And by Nations Bank, with the new ATM at the Weber City office, and great deals on private lines of credit throughout Scott County. We also have a new sponsor today, the Regional Adult Education Program. You may be listening to the game today and remembering back to when you were in school. Those were the good old days. Many adults in our county left school before graduating. The Scott County Public Service System has free classes to help adults improve their basic skills. If you cannot read, we can help. If you want to help your children with homework, we can help. If you need to pass the GED exam, we have classes for you. Call the Regional Adult Education Program today at 386-2433. Learning is not just for kids anymore. Blue Devil football is also brought to you by Doc Whitley Nationwide Insurance, by the Campus Drive-In. Thanks to you, to all the sponsors who help bring us Blue Devil football on Channel 30. Well, Mark, I've rambled on for about 3 minutes. Now it's your time. What's your observations, and what are the keys for the Blue Devils to be able to win this championship?
Well, thank you, Larry. The key, of course, the big factor today, goes without saying, is going to be the weather. It's not a sloppy field yet. There is some water standing in the center of the field, and it looks to get maybe sloppy early. I think the key for the Devils is this. As it has been all year, the Devils' defense has been an outstanding force in their team. It's been the one key. If you could put a finger on the key of success, it's got to be the defense. Today, with the run and shoot offense that the judges run, and for those people that watch any pro football, they're going to see this lineup when the replay is going to look a lot like, or exactly like, the Houston Oilers run and shoot. The thing is, we got to put a lot of pressure on Partlow early. Got to make some turnovers. I think that's the key to the game, is keeping a lot of pressure on the quarterback. We don't know a lot about it except to do with the run and shoot. There'll be a lot of rollout passing. Right here, Larry, before we get started, as the Devils are making their way toward the field, I'm going to read you the John Handley Judges starting offensive lineup. At wide receiver, 5'8", 145-pound sophomore is Adam Braithwaite. At split end, number 87, the twin brother of the quarterback, Brian Partlow, is Michael Partlow, 6'4", 190-pound senior. At left tackle, 6'1", 210-pound Keith Colbert. At left guard, 6'1", 260-pound senior Brian Vadaro. At center, 6 foot, 168-pound senior Kevin McKinley. At right guard, 6'2", 220-pound junior Brian Cavall. At right tackle, 6 foot, 197-pound senior Cliff Knupp. At tight end, number 83, 6'2", 185-pound senior Chris Papa. At wide receiver on the right side, 6 foot, 170-pound senior Danny Westfall. The lone running back in the backfield is number 33, 5'9", 185-pound senior Trey Kern. And of course, the quarterback is number 13, 6'4", 190-pound senior Brian Partlow.
A very explosive offensive team, Mark. They put a A lot of points on the board all year long. They've averaged 41 points, 41.2 points per game. And first time ever I remember seeing at Gate City a lot of royal blue and white balloons that have been turned loose by the cheerleaders. It's a great, almost like a college atmosphere type ball game.
It is a college atmosphere, and even though the weather's been a deterrent today, Larry, as far as keeping some of the crowd away, a good crowd from Handley down here, a great crowd from Gate City, and it's going to be, it is a college type atmosphere.
It is. Mark, for the Blue Devils today, I'm going to feature the defense. The defense, I think, is what, like you alluded to a while ago in your analysis, is what has gotten us to where we are. So today, starting on defense at left end, Lindsey Fisher, 6'1", 165-pound junior. At left tackle, Larry Jackson, 5'11", 155-pound junior. At right tackle, Brian Burke, 6'1", 180-pound senior. At right end, Joel Stacy, 5'11", 190-pound junior. At left outside linebacker, Jake Housewright, 6'2", 175-pound freshman. At left inside linebacker, Matt Johnson, 6'0", 207 senior. At right inside linebacker, Chad Beasley, 6'4", 200-pound sophomore. At right outside linebacker, Benny Wolf, 5'10", 170-pound sophomore. At left cornerback, Matt Clayball, 5'9", 150-pound senior. At right cornerback, Matt Clayball, 6'1", 170-pound senior. At right cornerback should be Hank Clayball. That's 5'9", 150-pound senior. And Joey McBride will be the safety, 5'11", 160-pound senior. I believe, Mark, did John Handley not win the toss and defer to the second half?
They did. Handley decided to want to go on defense first. A little surprise for me. I thought maybe the judges, if they won the toss, would, since the potent part of their game all year has been their offense, that they would take the ball. So apparently they're wanting to try to set the tone of the game by shutting the Devils down right to start with, Larry.
And I believe number 25, which is Nathan Carper, is the place kicker for the John Handley judges from Winchester, Virginia. I believe the judges had to travel somewhere in excess of 350 miles, I believe I read in the paper, to get down here. They've had a long trip to make. I believe they came in day before yesterday, and
they brought a very impressive crowd with them today, too.
They sure did. Back deep for the Blue Devils, standing at about the 7-yard line, are Matt and Hank Clayball. And as we prepare to kick off, Caper stands and the ball spotted at his 40-yard line, and here comes the opening kick to the AA Division III championship. Matt McClellan receives it at the 6, crosses the 10, the 15, fumbles the football, gets it back, but the judges throw him at about the 7-yard line. So weather conditions on the first play already almost had a bearing right there, Mark.
They sure did, and you're going to look. We can look for this for the whole game, I believe. Larry, it's who can play the ball control, the least turnovers. I look for this to be a more of a ball control type game.
So the Blue Devils in field position start out with bad field position with the ball spotted on their own 7-yard line. They are in a power I formation with Hank, the standing tailback. He slips, gets a handoff, breaks up across the 10, right at the 10. Maybe we'll call it the 11-yard line for a pickup of about 4 on the play. Tackle was made by Jerome Brooks, the right inside linebacker for the judges. So even footing, Mark, on running plays is going to be a problem.
Oh, it's going to be critical. And after the first couple of series in the middle of the field, Larry, it's going to be real sloppy. It's not bad yet, but it's going to be short.
Blue Devils, same formation, power out. Hand off again to Hank Clayball, runs across the right tackle and maybe gains a yard and a half on the play.
I believe that's Borden in there, number 71, Dwayne Borden for the judges.
So the ball will be spotted close to the 14-yard line, which will bring up 3rd down and about 5 yards to go. Blue Devils deep in their own end of the field at the 14-yard line. Looks like Handley, Mark, is playing, what, a 4-4 defensive front?
They've been sitting in a 4-4, and they still are.
Blue Devils power I formation, put Hank play ball in motion, hand off to the fullback Gibson, and he drives straight up the middle, picks up maybe 2 yards on the play. He's going to be short of the first down. It's going to bring up 4th down at about 3, looks like.
Well, the judges shut that down real quick, Larry. The linebacker number 42 in there, Jerome Brooks, made a good stop that time. But the Devils got a little bit of a bad break here and got backed up to start with. So we'll get a chance to look at this potent Judges offense.
The punt by McBride gets off a high knuckleball type punt that's going to be fielded at the 42-yard line and dives forward to the 40 of Gate City. So Handley is going to take over with excellent field position as they start their first offensive possession.
And Larry, this Handley team goes with a no-huddle offense, and the only thing that's about going to slow that down is the fact that they got to change balls between every play.
Yeah, with this rain and muddy weather, that will be one thing that slows it down. But this Brian Partlow is supposed to be one of the top quarterbacks in the country that's on all the major college recruiting lists. They go with an unbalanced line right. Hand off to the running back, Kern. And
he's hit in there big, Larry.
As he gets to the line of scrimmage.
Matt Johnson and I believe Joel Stacy.
The linebackers, I believe, Johnson probably keying on Kern. Trey Kern is the only setback that they have. And he's gained, I believe, in excess of 1,500 yards for the season.
Yeah, that's what I read. And Matt Johnson got back in there about the time the ball got to Kern that time, and Joel Stacy was right on his heels.
Now the Blue Devils move their safety up on the line of scrimmage, move a cornerback up, do a lot of shifting here on defense. Give Partlow something to think about. Partlow drops straight back, throws a down and out pass. It's intended for his brother. It's caught, but he's Alabama.
And Larry, that was a real good timing pass that time by Partlow. It just so happened that the other Partlow of that duo was standing out of bounds when he caught the ball.
I guess if we can keep this straight, Mark, we probably ought to call the quarterback Brian and the receiver Michael and just say Brian completes it to Michael, or it's incomplete from Brian to Michael.
Or 13 to 87, or
yeah. But they also have another receiver that Westfall has picked up about 800 yards in receiving yardage.
And Larry, it looked like that Brian Partlow that time audibled at the line, and he's calling his play now.
It's going to bring up 3rd down and 10. The ball's still on the 40-yard line of the Blue Devils. Brian Partlow, the quarterback. Trey Kern, the running back. Partlow drops straight back, throws a screen, middle screen that has blocking out in front. And the Blue Devils get a hand on him, but the receiver, which is the twin brother, Brian Partlow, Michael Partlow, they ran a little middle screen with him, and he picks up, it's going to be short of the first down after the spot, looks like, by very short yardage, maybe half a yard.
Looks like, yeah, maybe a foot or 18 inches.
So on 4th and less than a foot, the John Handley Judges will attempt to go for first down on 4th down. Blue Devils stay in their 4-man defensive line. Partlow calls an audible here, as he does on every play. Quarterback keeper, and he dives across the 30 down to about the 37, gets plenty yardage for the first down.
He did, and it's a good second effort by him, Larry. For a minute there, it looked like they may stop him right there.
Partlow is, kind of like Shoemaker. He's 6'4", pretty good-sized young man, and if he can get just a little push by that center, he's going to be able to pick up a yard every time.
And he was stopped in there that time, of course, by the center of the Devils line, but that was anchored by Brian Burke that time.
1st and 10 on the Blue Devil 38. As the John Handley Judges are driving. After their first possession, they picked up, in 4 downs, picked up a first down. The ball spotted at the 28. Run a little counter to the back, Kern, and he picks up about 3 yards from the line of scrimmage to up close to the 25 that time, with Lindsey Fisher making the tackle.
Well, Larry, the Devils have got to get a little more penetration and get back there to Partlow. He's getting too much time to throw the ball already, which we suspected. He's not really rolled out like I thought he may.
Taking short drops too.
Taking real short drops.
Looks like on a screen pass.
A 3-step drop, and
the Judges split Michael Partlow out wide left, and Westfall is a receiver split out wide right. They run a pitch to the outside to Kern, and he goes out of bounds right at the yard marker. It's going to be awful close to a first down if he hasn't already picked it up.
I think they're trying to determine where his foot went out of bounds over there. We've got 3 officials looking at it. He's very close.
And they say 1st and 10, John Handley. The ball will be spotted, it looks like, at about the 18-yard line of the Blue Devils. So the field position game so far has worked to Handley's favor after the Blue Devils got pinned deep on the opening kickoff and only ran three plays and had to punt it away from their own end zone.
Partlow uses a lot of hand signals in his audible, too.
Yeah, he does. Blue Devils shift. Partlow drops straight back. A little 3-step drop, passes down the middle, and almost intercepted by Hank Clayball. Good job of pass defense that time.
It was a real good job. Hank was with him step for step, turned around, and really just kind of dropped the ball as he fell to the ground. It was almost interception in the end zone.
You know, the thing I saw on that play, Hank Clayball watched that receiver's eyes, and he didn't turn around until the receiver turned around to make the catch.
He never lost sight. He never lost contact with the receiver all the way down that time.
Absolutely right. That's the way you got to play pass defense. Now, both the Clayballs are at a size advantage, but now they'll make it up with heart and determination if they have the opportunity. The judges, ball on the 18. Partlow rolls back to his right, throws the ball into the end zone. That is incomplete.
And they're good. Good pass defense. Again, I should say good pass defense. That time covered by Benny Wolf and Clayball. Excuse me, I'll tell you, my heart may not slow down before halftime, so you folks just have to bear with me here. This is a real exciting time in Gate City for football.
Danny Westall was the intended receiver that time, ran a little real down and out to the flag that time, and Partlow's, you know, the football doesn't have a real tight spiral on it with these conditions, but he lays it up well. He has receivers that are bigger than our defensive back. And
I think that's what they're going to key on. Their offensive receivers are much taller.
Partlow drops straight back, and we have a flag on the play. But the umpires demanded through the flag, which usually means we've got a legal procedure. Let's see what this is called. It is a legal procedure against John Handley, so it will be 3rd down and 15, and that'll move the ball back to about the 23, I believe.
I believe that's right. Well, what I was going to say was their receivers are much taller than our defenders, and they're going to key on that fact. And it looks like Partlow's trying to throw the ball up to where his receivers
can go get
the ball and get above our defenders.
So 3rd down and 15 from a Blue Devil 23. John Handley judges. As Brian Partlow takes his time, calls his play at the line of scrimmage. They have a triple set left this time. They fake a little pass inside. Partlow throws the ball down the middle, and the pass is incomplete. He's short of his intended receiver that time, who was number 22, the wide receiver on the left side, Adam Braithwaite. And did I get that out there, Blue?
Well, I slaughtered it the first time I read it.
Braithwaite.
Partlow just did not make a good pass that time. He way underthrew his receiver that time, Larry.
Well, the Blue Devils got a little pressure that time with Joel Stacy.
They sure did.
And first time they've gotten any pressure into the backfield.
Yeah.
Handley's going to go for 1st down on 4th down. 4th and 15 yards to go. The Blue Devils shift. Partlow drops straight back, throws a little slant across the middle, and the pass is caught, and the spot is going to be real close.
This will be a crucial spot. Larry, that was an excellent catch. I thought the ball hit the ground.
I did too, and I believe from the looks of the change, he has a 1st down, Mark. From the looks of where they spotted the ball and where the yard marker is, I believe he picked up.
Well, that was just an excellent job that time by Michael Partlow to catch that ball. I thought the ball was going to hit the ground before he could pick it up.
Looked like a ball spotted inside the 8, and the yard marker is just barely inside the 8. So
they're calling for a measurement. I'm not sure he's got it, Larry.
When that official backed up, he backed up short of the chain. So we're going to have a measurement here. When the sideline official backed up to the marker, Mark, he came short of the intended 1st down.
I tell you, Michael Partlow just ran a little slant in that time from his wideout position, and it was a perfectly thrown pass for that situation. I'm sure he'd like to have the ball up a little higher off the ground than what it was, but just a little slant in right there that that may have picked up the first down for the Judges.
The chains are stretched, and it's 1st and 10, 1st and goal from the 8-yard line for the John Handley Judges.
A big play right there, Larry. Well, Devils could have shut that down and keep them from first down and make a big difference early here.
Right. Could have taken part of the momentum away that Handley's picked up.
Sure have.
And now the Devil offense, the Devil defense will be sorely tested here, I would think. 4 downs to get 8 yards by the Judges. Trey Kern is a running back, the sole running back in the backfield for the Handley Judges. Come this time, looks like with 2 tight ends. They pitched out to the left to Kern, and he struggles inside the 5, right at the 5-yard line, picks up about 3 yards on the play.
Yeah, broken up that time by Chad Beasley, Brian Burke, and Matt Johnson in good lateral pursuit that time. Beasley did a good job breaking that up, Larry. He fought through a block and then tripped Kern up.
It will be 2nd and goal from a 5. As Partlow comes up to the line of scrimmage and will call his play here. They have a split end, number 83, and a wing back on the left side. Tight end on the right side. 1 running back. Blue Devils shift their defense. Hand off again to Kern, and he dives into the end zone. Touchdown for the John Handley Judges.
And good hole that time over the left side of the Judges' line. And Kern really didn't have much trouble getting that into the end zone, Larry.
No, he didn't. They spread you out, Mark. With that offense, you spread your defense out all over the field, and it's hard to bunch your linebackers up in the middle there where you might be able to stop that penetration.
It really is.
The kicker for the extra point will be Nathan Carper, number 25. And he stands directly in the middle of the biggest part of the murk on the field right here.
He's knee-deep in mud at this point.
The snap is a low snap, a bad snap, and the holder rolls out to his right. He almost can get to the corner.
Oh,
and he was should be beyond the line of scrimmage, I believe.
That's right. I believe he is.
No penalty on the play, but the pass was incomplete. I believe I do see a flag laying over there now.
I believe he was past the line of scrimmage on that.
I believe he could just about made it, Mark.
I thought he was going to run it in.
Lowered his head and run it in, didn't he?
I thought he was going to run it in. It was the ball was on the ground all the way back there, and I'm sure it was real muddy. I don't know how he could have threw the ball anyway.
No, I don't either.
But he had nobody in. He didn't have a receiver in the pattern out there. Finally, somebody came clear in the corner of the end zone back there, but he was way past the line. So.
Now, the Gate City captains here will get an option on this. Hopefully, the penalty to help the Blue Devils out should be penalized on the kickoff, and maybe will help the Blue Devils field position. So far, the Blue Devils are not only behind on the scoreboard, but in the 2 possessions, 1 by each team, they've come out far the worst of field position wise.
And I tell you, the Judges did a good job of taking some time off the clock on that.
They did. They mixed it up pretty good.
They mixed it up pretty good. They went with more running plays than I really expect them to go with.
They do not penalize here. The penalty, I suppose, would have been if Gate City had taken the penalty, they would have gone for the extra point again. Would have backed them up and gone for it again. So the ball will be kicked off, spotted at the 40-yard line, and kicked off again by Carper and Hank Clayball, Matt Clayball, their deep backs for the Blue Devils. So with 5:20 to go, John Handley leads the Blue Devils 6-0. There's a knuckleball kick that Matt Clayball was unable to field, picks it up at his 5, up to the 10, the 15, and steps out of bounds at about the, looks like about the 18.5-yard line. So a little bit better field position this time for the Blue Devils.
A little better. We've got to do a little better job of fielding that kickoff, though, Larry. Of course, the first time Matt looked like he fielded it cleanly, and then the ball just popped loose, and it was lucky, I guess, to get the ball back.
Yeah, I think maybe a Handley tackler on that play got an arm in there and may have stripped that away from him.
May have.
Blue Devils here will go full house backfield. And Handley has looks like about an 8-man line here, Mark. Put the left halfback, Hank Clayball, in motion, handoff to Gibson. He gets a hold, and the fumble, ball's up in the air, and Handley recovers the football. So Handley's going to take over, it looks like, on the Blue Devil 20-yard line.
And Larry, that's exactly what the Devils didn't need. Sure-handed Kevin Gibson, who's not had very many fumbles all year, just got hit. The ball just popped straight up, bounced out of Matt Clayball's hands, and I believe back into the hands of I'm not sure who that was for Handley, number 54 maybe.
I believe it was. I believe it was an interior lineman, an interior defensive or linebacker.
I'll call him Viperman. I'm not sure that's right. Andy Viperman maybe.
So Handley is up in the turnover category by picking up a fumble on the play. Partlow throws the ball over the middle. That was a good pass intended for his brother, Danny Partlow, Michael Partlow, and he just dropped the football.
He did. It was right in his hands, and after the catch off the ground a while ago, I'm sure
that one should have been much easier.
No, should have been. Maybe it's too easy for him.
I tell you, their pass patterns are a well-schooled, well-coached team. It looks like that play was wide open all the way.
The receivers break their routes off. They make their cuts crisp, and that's what makes for a good pass pattern is when you make your cuts at the crucial moment and make them crisp and make them true.
Second down and 10 from the Blue Devil 20-yard line. Ryan Partlow calls the play. Handoff to fake a handoff this time to the running back. Partlow keeps it on the keeper and gets up inside the 15, down close to about the 12-yard line. It's going to be a couple yards short of the first down, but a good play again that time by Partlow, who has rushed for 10 touchdowns, as we alluded to in our introduction.
And that was a real good fake that time in there to Kern. He made an excellent fake. He stuck an empty hand in there. The two Devils went for the fake, and it left the left end just wide open for Brian Partlow that time, Larry.
You know, in talking to Coach Calabro, he says this is a real explosive offense. They get on the board early, put a lot of points on the board, and so far today, things kind of look like they might take that same path. Single running back, Trey Kern. Partlow rolls out to his right, throws a pass in, a little slant pass down close to the goal line, and Michael Partlow makes the reception for a touchdown. The same play that they ran a while ago that Michael Partlow dropped the football.
It was, and it's the same play that they ran a while ago to pick up the big fourth down on fourth down to make a first down. Just a little slant in pattern. It's not really anything. It's spectacular. Just a little slant in and good timing. Good timing between your receiver and your quarterback.
And it puts the cornerback on. They spread the field out so much it puts cornerbacks in one-on-one coverage.
It does, and it's hard to get pressure on that type of pass too. I mean, he's taking a short drop back, and he's just, they're on the same wavelength. There's no doubt about that.
You're absolutely right. Handley's going to go for two here. Partlow rolls to his left on the option, keeps, and he stops short of the goal line. Looks like a tackle's made by Matt Johnson and Joel Stacy that time.
Maybe Larry Jackson in there. Chad Beasley, I think, did a good job to read that and take him out of the play on that.
So with 4:42 to go in the first quarter, the John Handley judges lead the Gate City Blue Devils 12-0 in the Group AA Division III State Championship game.
And Larry, I see Brian Partlow being assisted over here on the sideline, holding his shoulder. As he comes off the field right here in front of us here.
His right shoulder too, isn't it? That's his throwing arm.
I'm not sure. The way he's been over there, I can't tell. They've got him. He's been over like he's in some pain. May have just got a cleat on the hand. But
well, I noticed, Mark, on the option play that they ran down there when he kept it, he lowered his shoulder and ran over the defensive back to try to pick up some extra yardage.
They're going to work on his shoulder. He seems to be, and it is his right shoulder, I believe, from where the trainer's working on.
Yeah. He may have gotten also hurt on that play there because when they came up out of the attempt for two, Matt Johnson had the football. Here's the kickoff again. This time, Matt Clayball fields it at his 8-yard line, gets good blocking.
Good blocking right there.
And a face mask tackle that time by Handley at the 25-yard line.
And Larry, he almost just snapped his head completely off his shoulders with that tackle. I'm not sure. I first thought he just caught him from behind and jerked him backwards, but I believe he caught his head and caught his face mask.
It is a personal foul, face mask.
And that's a big penalty right there.
You know,
judges.
Mark, if he got by that man, he had open field.
He did, and he got a real good block that time, and I thought he was going to get some room on the corner. That boy, I'm not sure who that was for Handley, but he did a real good job just to get a hand on him.
I thought it was 42, Jerome Brooks.
That's who I thought it was 42.
So after the step off on the penalty, the Blue Devils will finally get outside of their shadow of their own goal line. The ball will be spotted on the 41. Blue Devils with a full house backfield. Two tight ends. Handley brings her linebackers up. Shoemaker fakes a handoff, rolls throws the ball
Almost
intended for Matt McClellan, and defensive back almost picked it off.
He did. I believe, really, I think that was number 42, Brooks again, and got a hand on that ball.
First pass attempt of the Blue Devils. Shoemaker faked the handoff, rolled back to his left, had 2 men out in the pattern. One of the Clayball twins coming out of the backfield, and McClellan tried to go to McClellan, the deep receiver, and Handley had it covered pretty good, I thought.
They had it covered well. I thought that he was going to pass that off underneath to Clayball there, but they still had that defended real well.
Yeah, they did. Shoemaker full house backfield. Pitch outside to Matt Clayball, and he only gets back to the line of scrimmage. We got these Matts confused here early, Mark.
Well, we've got the Clayballs confused, the Matts confused, the Partlows confused. I tell you, it's just such an exciting game, and it's so exciting to have it here in Gate City. And you know, it's been hard. It's been hard for me to stay.
It's been hard to come down to earth to be able to do this.
It has. It really has. And they got a good lateral pursuit that time by the left half of the Handley defense that time, Larry.
Blue Devils this time in a power-I formation with Hank Clayball standing tailback. They hand off on a straight up the middle carry by Hank Clayball, and he breaks it across the 45 up to about the 46-yard line. It's going to be 3.5, 4 yards short of a first down, which will make it fourth down and about 4 yards to go, closer to 5 almost.
Well, Larry, and the rain's coming down again pretty hard, and the center of this field is just absolute swamp right now.
Yeah, it would be hard to find any field today that wasn't artificial turf.
Well,
Partlow, Michael Partlow is one of the deep receivers, and along with number 81 is Westfall for.
Got an official's timeout here. I think I don't know if they're checking some equipment on Matt Johnson. I'm not sure. Anyway, he's chopped the clock now.
Lindsey Fisher, the deep snapper. Shoemaker calls the signals from the up back. Good snap. McBryant gets off a high punt, not very deep. Gets a good Gate City roll inside the and out of bounds inside the 25 of Handley. Going to be spotted, we'll call it the 21-yard line of John Handley.
But far and away the worst field position that the judges have had today, Larry.
But the judges have been able to take advantage of field position and put 2 touchdowns on the board early on here in the first quarter. And as we said a while ago, lead the Blue Devils 12-0 with 2:49 to go in the first quarter.
What it looks like, Larry, right now is that we're going to have to take the underneath away from them. They're taking those little underneath passes on the slant ends and the quick pass route. If we can find a way to shut that down and force them to do something else.
Blue Devils do a lot of shifting, and they hand off is to Kern, and he breaks into the open up close to the 28-yard line. So a good gain on the play. Looks like about a pickup of, about 5, 6 yards on the play, 7 yards on the play.
Looks like they're going to give him a good 6 anyway.
Yeah, what the scoreboard says, second down 4. We'll call it a pickup of 6 on the play. Ball spotted at the 28-yard line. Second down and 3 yards to go. Brian Partlow, the quarterback, hands off again to Kern. He breaks a couple of tackles, breaks into the open field almost up close his own 40-yard line, and has more than enough yardage for a first down.
And Larry, it looks like the judges have got just a well-balanced attack right now. They're doing it in the air, they're doing it on the ground, they're getting some penetration from their offensive people against our left side right now, the left side of our defensive line.
Their offensive line, Mark, looks to me to be in super shape. They all look like they're about 6'1", 6'2", and somewhere between 210 and 235, I would think, maybe even bigger than that. Quarterback rolls back to his right, throws a pass downfield that is incomplete on the sideline, intended for Westfall. That time, Brian Partlow rolled to his right, and he had him open, I believe, Mark.
He just overthrew him. Yeah, he overthrew him on that right there. And that's more of what I expected to see him do. But of course, the field conditions may dictate more to a drop-back type pass. I was expecting already to see a little more rollout in this run and shoot.
Mm-hmm.
But this
offense puts a tremendous amount of pressure on the defense. Gate City's had to to redo their defensive schemes this week, I'm sure, to try to combat something that would work here or combat their offense, rather. We have a timeout again here. As looks like
Housewright's wiping. Is that Housewright wiping mud out of his eyes?
Yeah, I thought maybe the officials were going to.
I thought maybe he had some blood on him.
I did too.
But the official loaned him his sleeve to wipe the mud out of him. That's pretty congenial by an official.
I could understand how he could have mud in his eyes.
I sure can too.
Brian Partlow, the quarterback for the John Handley Judges. Drops straight back, throws a pass out into the flat, and it's incomplete. The pass was intended again for his brother Michael Partlow. And you know, Mark, if you and I were keeping stats, which we aren't, but Michael Partlow only needed 3 receptions coming into this game to set another Virginia High School League record. I know he's caught 2.
I believe he's caught 3
and
already.
it may have already tied or set that record. So we'll when we get those stats at halftime, we may be able to pick that out of the stats. I'm not sure. 3rd down and 10. The ball spotted on the Judges' 40-yard line. Blue Devil defense is spread out all over the field.
Into a 3-man front now.
Partlow drops back, throws that little middle screen
broken
again.
Up nicely that time.
Beasley break that up that time.
Chad Beasley got a hand in there, and he read that middle screen just perfect that time and almost come up with an interception.
He said, fool me once, but not fool me twice.
There you go. And that was a real good play, but Chad Beasley just got a hand in there on the ball and knocked it out of the receiver's hand.
So the Blue Devils that time, I believe, smelled that play from a word go, especially Chad Beasley, because he got such good penetration. So the Judges will have to punt for the first time, and guess what? Michael Partlow does the punting, the receiver. A high snap, but he gets it down. The Blue Devils come with good pressure, and I believe deflected the football. However, there's a penalty on the play.
Well, Larry, I believe we're going to get a roughing the kicker penalty on maybe Brian Burke that time, and I'm not sure that's – it looked to me like that they were up in the air after the ball, and I thought he got a partial hand on it.
Well, if he didn't get if our defense didn't get a hand on it, it came off his foot real funny. He really didn't hit it.
And you and I watched him warm up before the game. He never really hit a bad punt before the game.
No, he did. But he could have rushed that because of the pressure coming up. So that's – chances are that's probably going to give him an automatic first down here.
It will, I think. And the Devils got good penetration that time, and I thought we got a hand on the ball, but
well, I thought at the actual time I didn't really see how he could get it off. We had 4 men almost standing directly in front of him. Of course, it's kind of hard to slow your momentum down with the field conditions the way they are here. If you don't get the football, you got a good chance of hitting.
Sure is, and that's another break for the Judges, Larry.
Well, you'd figure a judge would always get a break, right?
You would think. If a judge can't get a break, who can get one?
If a judge can't get a break, he'll make one. So after the penalty, spots the ball across midfield into Blue Devil territory at the Blue Devil 46-yard line. 1:25 to go, first quarter. The Blue Devils trail the John Handley Judges 12-0. Partlow drops back, throws a fly pattern intended for his receiver, and it's intercepted by Matt Clayball with a little blocking out front.
He's got some running room.
So a good play that time. The Blue Devils get their first turnover. I thought that pass was poorly thrown.
That was a very poorly thrown pass. He never had a receiver. Matt Clayball almost went back and fielded it like it was a pop fly ball.
He did. That pass laid up in the air, and if it was a fly pattern,
I think it was supposed to be maybe a fly pattern. I think it was really supposed to be maybe a little timing pattern, and his receiver wasn't where he was supposed to be at the time.
Well, you're probably right. But Matt Clayball played it exceptionally well.
He did. He kept his eye on the ball when he saw that the ball was going to be long. He kept his eye on it and made a great reception, or interception, I should say.
The Blue Devils in dire need of putting some points on the scoreboard to get some momentum back here.
Yeah, right now, I was just looking there a second ago. Right now, the Judges have pretty much taken the Gate City crowd out of the game too, and we need a big break right here, a good drive, and some kind of points to put our crowd back in the game.
After the interception, the ball spotted on the 37. Gate City full house backfield. Shoemaker handoff to Gibson, running left. Across left guard, left tackle, good gain on the play. Picks up maybe 8 yards on the play, 7 to 8 yards on the play. The best running play that the Blue Devils have had so far.
It did. There was a good hole in there that time over our tackling in, and Brooks made a good move from his linebacker spot to get there and get Gibson when he did.
We've got less than 23 seconds to go first quarter. Blue Devils again, full house backfield. Second down and about 3. Shoemaker with a long count, hands off, fakes the handoff to the right halfback, hands off to Gibson on a little counter. Gets up close to the first down marker, but looks like he's going to be about a yard short.
I believe he will be about a yard short this time. And I'll tell you, Larry, that's the end of the first quarter, and really a slow quarter. We've been 30 minutes playing the first quarter.
Well, when you got a football team that throws the football as much as they do, if you have a lot of incompletions, why you're going to have a slow ball game. Gate City Blue Devil football on STE Cablevision Channel 30 is brought to you by King Ford in Gate City, where you'll find the best prices on quality Ford cars and trucks. By Roberts Tire and Recapping. Fall is a great time for new tires from Roberts like Firestone and Michelin. By Magnolia Place, the place where you'll find the perfect Christmas gift on East Jackson Street in Gate City. By Weber City Drug Center, great prescription service, also featuring UPS and fax for your convenience. By Nations Bank, with a new ATM at the Weber City office and great deals on private lines of credit throughout Scott County. And by State Line Graphics, offering the best service for your printing needs, located in Weber City. We're also brought to you by the Regional Adult Education Program. You may be listening to the game today and remembering back to when you were in school. Those were the good old days. Many adults in our county left school before graduating, and the Scott County Public Service System has free classes to help adults improve their basic skills. By Doc Whitley Nationwide Insurance and by the Campus Drive-In. And as we start the action back at the start of the second quarter, Shoemaker on a keeper. And looks like he may be short of the first down.
He may have. He slipped a little bit. He slipped a little bit on the when he started there, Larry. We didn't get a good penetration off the ball from our center that time, just because of the footing. We're in one of the sloppiest parts of the field right now. Water standing ankle deep right there. I noticed on one of the Judge's players out there, he was standing ankle deep in water that time in his defensive position. So it's getting real sloppy.
Well, the Blue Devils, if they are short here, will have first big coaching decision for Coach Calabro to make, but they don't need to worry about it. It's 1st and 10 Blue Devils at the 40. We're going to call it the 47-yard line of Gate City.
It's kind of hard to call it
anything. The hash marks are gone, aren't they, Mark?
It's hard to call it anything right now, except he's crossed the 45 and maybe out of that muddy spot.
He's not all the way to the 50, but he's crossed the 45. Blue Devils again with Power Eye, this time with Gibson, the standing tailback. Hand off to Gibson. Good blocking up front. Good drive that time by the offensive line. Good on the right side. Beasley, Becker, Jason Kilgore.
And good hard running that time by Gibson.
And Gibson picked up, looks like about 7 yards on that play. So should be 2nd down and 3. The ball spotted just short of the 45-yard line of the John Handley Judges.
And Larry, it's important that we come out of this drive. It's important we make a drive here and come away with something, even if it's just 3 points. We need to come away from something with this drive.
I agree. Blue Devils unbalanced line right. Shoemaker, handoff again to Gibson. Running room, breaks tackle after tackle, gets inside the 40 down to the 35 of Handley.
And Kevin very near broke that. Stumbled a little bit. If he could have held his footing there, I believe he had some room to cut back outside that time to his right.
You know, Mark, once we got out of the shadow of our own goal line and have started running straight at this Handley defense, we're making some pretty good holes on these last running plays.
The offensive line right now is doing a good job. They're opening up some holes in there, and Kevin doing a good job running the ball.
Power eye formation set left. Hand off again to Gibson. And this time a good tackle is made by
Brooks. I believe that's Jerome Brooks. I believe he blitzed that time and caught Gibson in the backfield.
And there's only a pickup of, we'll call it 1 yard on the play. Going to make it 2nd down and 9. You know, Mark, you're an old football player. I know a lot more about this game than I do, as we say each week. But there are run blitzes and there are pass blitzes. Is that not right?
Well, yeah, and, you know, we've, and I say we, the Devils right now have got to control this line of scrimmage, and our offensive line is doing a good job getting off the ball.
Full house again with Lindsey Fisher into the backfield in motion. Handoff this time to Gibson with two blockers out of the backfield in front of him, Housewright and Lindsey Fisher, and runs the ball off. Right tackle picks up, maybe 3 yards on the play. He's going to bring up third down and right at 5 yards to go. Long 5, we'll call it 6. Ball spotted just short of the 30-yard line of the John Handley judges. That's a mouthful, you know.
It is, John Handley judges. I tell you what, there's a field full of them too. They brought a healthy-looking crew with them, didn't they?
They did. This is we have another official's timeout here on the field. John Handley did bring quite a few people with them.
They did, and they're a very impressive. They're a very impressive bunch when they roll into town and on the field too.
They are. They're a good-looking football team, but you would expect anybody that is in a championship game. You got 2 good football teams out there right now. Hank Clayball goes in motion. Handoff, fake to Gibson. Have Clayball open, and he's going to be close to first down, depending on the effort. The yard marker is right on the 25-yard line. First and 10, Blue Devils.
Good pass that time. A good safe pass out in the flat to Hank. Was wide open. Shoemaker did a good job. Just laid the ball right in there to him, and there's 2 defenders right there on with Hank, but it's a well-thrown pass.
Pretty safe pass. Play we've run all year.
It is. And it's worked well for the Devils all year, too.
It has. It has. So Blue Devils, first and 10 from John Handley 25 as they trail in the ball game 12-0. 8:40 to go, second quarter. Handley brings their linebackers up tight, show blitz, and they do blitz. Shoemaker on the option, pitches out to Gibson, and he picks up about 3 yards on the play before he's knocked out of bounds.
And a good job that time by Shoe just to get rid of the ball. It was clogged up in there, made a good pitch out to Kevin.
Low pitch. Gibson made a good reception of the pitch,
really
too. Yeah, Handley is looks like they've decided that they're going to try to put some pressure on the Blue Devil quarterback.
Well, I think it's too. It's getting back to what you said a while ago. There's pass blitzes and there's run blitzes, and right now, they know we're in a run-oriented mode, and they know that we're going to. They're going to be sending everybody they can up tight.
Power I formation with Gibson the standing tailback. Here come those linebackers up tight again. Hand off to Gibson, and he struggles for about 4 yards. Looks like he's going to be short of the first down, but maybe not by a whole lot. Maybe 2 yards short.
Maybe a couple, I believe. We'll call it. It looks like a long 1 or short 2. But now this is basic Gate City football. This is fundamental Blue Devil football. 3 and 4 yards, and obviously no cloud of dust today.
Well, that's true. You get dust here today.
You carried it.
It's got to be brick dust or something.
You get dust today, you carried it with you.
Yeah, the Blue Devils for the last 3 or 4 plays have had Housewright and Fisher in the backfield and Gibson the standing tailback. A little bit more weight and size out front. Hand off to Gibson. He struggles across the 15 and has picked up a first down, I'm sure. Looks like the ball will be spotted inside the 15 at about the 14-yard line. It's first and 10 Blue Devils.
Larry, I'm sure the judges right here from watching their coaching staffs a little bit don't really know what's going on yet. They've not comprehended what the Devils are doing now that we couldn't do a while ago in moving their people off the ball.
Well, Kevin Gibson, I see, has just gone to the sideline, and Hank Clayball's reported in. He'll be running at the tailback spot. And the Blue Devils do call timeout because it didn't look like they had the play down exactly right.
I think they were a little confused with the personnel they had in there that time, Larry.
Maybe right, Mark. They have, we've been talking about Fisher and Housewright moving into the backfield, and it's something we've done for the last 2 or 3 weeks. But this is a different set than we've run out of it.
It is, and Gibson went out of the game, and I think when Shoemaker turned around, he wasn't sure that he wanted Gibson out of the game from what it looked like, but maybe he was a little confused as to the personnel he had back there and the play he was supposed to be running. So he very wisely calls a timeout to avoid a penalty and delay a game.
Yeah, the Blue Devils, definitely need to take advantage of this opportunity and be able to put some points on the scoreboard here since they trail in the ball game.
Well, and that's a position that the Devils have found themselves in many times this year, is behind, and by more than 12 at times, and which says a lot for the heart of this team. They've come back and won from being behind, so we can put some points on the board right here, hold them, and we're in good shape.
Gibson has checked back into the lineup, and he is at the tailback spot. So you've got two blockers in there. If you're going to hand this ball off, you know it's going to be to Gibson. Neither one of these other people carried the football all year. Unbalanced line right. Handoff is to Gibson, and he cuts left, breaks a tackle, breaks inside the 5, right at the 5-yard line. Good play that time. Good running by Kevin Gibson.
Good, and a big hole that time. He ran, I'm not sure who it was he ran into, but he ran into one of our offensive linemen. I'm not sure. It may have been Andy Smith, but a real good hole that time over the left side of our offensive line.
Pick up on the play that time of 8 yards. The ball will be spotted just short of the 5-yard line. John Handley's 5. It's going to be 2nd down and 2. And the Blue Devils here seem to be moving the ball pretty good, Mark. Kept it on the ground except for one pass play, I believe, in this series.
Wes Ford's checked back into the game at left end.
Same formation, power eye with Gibson the standing tailback. Handoff this time to Gibson, running across the 5, running hard down close to the goal line. Looks like he's going to be stopped short of the one-yard line, stopped short of the goal line, but he has picked up a first down.
First down, and that gives us 4 downs right here to work with, Larry, and a real good drive this time by the Devils. They are executing the way they need to execute to win this ball game right now.
Yeah, they just run a basic power football and basic straight up the middle, over top of tackle guard in the center, and it'll be 1st and goal short of the goal line. We'll call it on the 1-foot line.
I think right now our offensive line is just whipping their defense.
We've got Lindsey Fisher this time at the tailback spot. Gibson has moved up to one of the utbacks, and Shoemaker dives on the keeper into the end zone. Touchdown, Blue Devils.
And that'll put the crowd back in the game real quick now, Larry. And it's certainly quietened this Handley bunch down, as you would assume it would.
Well, I'll tell you, Mark, on that play, that quarterback keeper, the Blue Devil offensive line pushed the defensive line 2 yards deep into the end zone.
They had at least a good, Shoe could have stood straight up and walked in. And
so very important extra point here, attempt by Matt McClellan.
In a very bad part of the field.
Yeah, Lindsey Fisher, the snapper. The ball's a good snap. The kick's down, the kick's up, and the kick is good. So the Blue Devils get on the scoreboard with 6:09 to go in the second quarter, as John Handley now leads in the game 12-7.
And a big momentum swing right here, Larry. Even after, and the Devils defense did a real good job that time by overcoming adversity of the penalty on the block and or roughing the kicker.
They did. They did.
Then the offense, real impressed that time with the way our offensive line just sort of blew their defense off the ball.
Yeah, I believe some of the coaching staff on our sidelines may have challenged our offensive line over there and said, we're going to drive the ball right down their throats. It's your job. We're going to win with you, or we're going to lose with you.
Well, I think so. And like I say, some confusion that time by the judges. Their coaches over here, I'm sure, couldn't figure out why all of a sudden we were moving the ball on.
We have a different deep back this time on the kickoff. Well, we haven't seen a kickoff yet, so I guess that's a reason. I believe that's number 20, Mark.
It'll be different from us, I'm sure.
That's Stephen Johnson, if we can read the number. That's number 20, I believe, on there.
And I tell you, the only numbers that I'm really able to read real good is number 70 out here and number 45, and they're new checking into their special teams on their kickoff receiving team.
Only 2 white jerseys on the field.
Only 2 white jerseys. If we lose these numbers, they're just mud covered. You can't see the front of them hardly at all right now.
That's true. Matt McClellan prepares to kick off from the 40. And he hits it high and kind of short. Going to be fielded at the 15 by 42. And he breaks a tackle. If he hadn't lost his footing, which is pretty hard not to do on this field conditions, he may have been able to pick up some more yards.
He was hit in there that time by our number 32. Is that Caney?
No, Caney is 82.
82. I'm sorry, I'm not at the. As usual, I'm unprepared and don't have my program open. But it's our number 32 on the kickoff team. I'm not sure. We'll get you a name on that in just a second.
The ball spotted at the looks like about the 27-yard line of Handley. They hand off to the running back, and he dives across the 30 before he's hit and tackled at about the 32-yard line. A pickup of about 5 yards on the play, so they're almost averaging 5 yards every time they run the football.
Kern is they're getting some holes in there against our defensive line too. They're moving some of our kids back. And I still hadn't got a name on that number 32 yet. I'm going to feel like an idiot, whoever.
32, Louis Bowl. Been on our kickoff team and punt coverage team. I know he's been on the kickoff team all year.
Yeah, he has.
All right, Partlow with a 2nd down and 5 from the 32. Hands off again to Kernan. Brian Burke this time hit him just as he got the handoff.
Brian Burke makes a big defensive play. I mean, he just lowered a shoulder into him and almost got there when the ball did.
Boy, that'd been nice. We could have had a turnover here, Blue.
We could use a turnover right here.
Lost a couple yards on the play. He's going to bring up 3rd down and 7 this time, and Partlow will call his play at the line of scrimmage, as he has done all year and has done all through this game.
2 wide outs to our right side.
Yeah, Michael Partlow's the wide out right. Brian Partlow rose to his right, throws the ball, has a man short, and the pass is complete to Westfall. And the Blue Devils knock him out of bounds at the 48-yard line. Pickup of I'd say about 10 yards on the play, and gives him a 1st down.
A real good pass route that time. Westfall just pulls up short, comes back toward his quarterback, as a good receiver will do, and gives him a big target to throw at.
And all their receivers, Mark, are pretty good-sized young men. They don't have anybody. All 3 of these receivers they have in at the wideouts look to be 6 feet or better.
Yeah.
And they are, according to
I think Westfall's the shortest at 6 foot even.
Yeah, he's 6 foot 170. They have a wide out split way left. That's Partlow and Westfall here. The pitch this time is to Kern, and he's hit and stopped with a great tackle by Housewright that time.
I think Mr. Kern's just been welcomed to Gate City football. That's an excellent textbook tackle by Jake Housewright. He just met him and drove him right straight down into the ground.
The Blue Devils on the last couple of running plays have seemed to do a pretty good job, but
there's a loss of about 2 yards on that play.
Handley's bread and butter all year long has been throwing the football, and
well, it has, but that's also what's contributed to Kern being able to get so many yards on the ground. I mean, it keeps the defense off balance all day.
Had another official timeout for only a minute to cover the football. We got 2nd down and 12 yards to go. 3:45 to go before halftime. Handley leads Gate City 12-7. Partlow up under center. Brian, that is. Michael Partlow split to his left. Blue Devils get a little pressure. The pass is over the middle and behind Michael Partlow, and incomplete.
And another bad pass that time. He threw that way behind brother that time.
Yeah, he did. Blue Devils got the defensive front, got their hands up pretty good that time, Mark.
They did, and chances are Partlow just wasn't able to see his. I wonder which one of those boys are the younger, since they're twins.
I don't know.
I keep wanting to say his younger brother or older brother. Or
3:33 to go. That's that incomplete pass. Stop the clock. It's now 3rd down and 12. Handley with the ball on their own 44-yard line. Double wide outs left. Partlow rose to his left, being chased. Pass is tipped and intercepted. Blue Devils. Matt Clayball. Pass hit the intended receiver that time. I believe it was a tight end on that side, Papa, and deflected off of his hands. And Matt Clayball made the reception.
Right, Matt just in perfect position. Great pursuit that time by Beasley. Partlow slipped a little bit as he rolled out to his left and give Beasley time to really get on top of him, and he rushed his throw and tried to throw on the run.
So the Blue Devils pick up another turnover here with 3:22. When they chop the clock, we're down to 3:15 now, and the ball just inside of midfield on Handley's territory at the 49. Blue Devils change their set, pro set this time, with a wide out wing back set left. Fake to the tailback. We're going to throw a screen. The pass is complete to Gibson, but they played it real well.
Yeah, it's broken up in there that time by Stephen Johnson.
Yes, Stephen Johnson.
Stephen Johnson, and he did a real good job. It looked like we had the screen set up pretty good, and he was just underneath. We got a flag in the backfield,
and Handley,
in the defensive backfield, I should say.
Handley is motioning that's in our direction.
Offensive pass interference? Is that what we're going to call?
Well, I don't know. For it to be that far down. Looked like our coaching staff wanted to get with the officials, and Coach Colabro calmed them down a little bit and said, now, you know, you make the call. You're the guy that made the call. We'll take our lump share. That's all we can do about it.
That's about it. I didn't see what was happening. I was watching the screen that time, but I don't know what happened downfield. Apparently,
Blue Devils must have blocked while the ball was in the air.
Could be in.
Or we could have had I guess we could have had a lineman down. I didn't see the signal. Did you? It must have been offensive pass interference, though, because it's not only
it's a big penalty.
Second down also, which is loss of down, so that's what they call. 15-yard penalty and loss of down. Blue Devils put Matt Clayball into motion, hand off to Gibson. He circles right in, picks up about 5 yards on the play.
And we
have a penalty down here. So.
I think we're going to see a face mask right here. I think this may go against the judges.
Even in high school, though, Mark, we won't be able to recover the 15 we lost on the play because it's all marked off from the line of scrimmage. Is that not right? No, they're marking it off from the spot.
From point of infraction here, it's a personal foul. It is face mask.
So that gives the Blue Devils part of the yardage back that they lost on the prior play on the penalty, and puts the ball inside Handley territory again at about the 44. It's going to bring up third down now, and about looks like 5 yards to go.
So looks like the Devils
should
make a mistake, and then Handley turns right around and commits a big foul right here this close to half.
Yeah, and it's second down because the down wouldn't change because of the penalty.
Right.
Devils in a run and shoot formation with Gibson the only back in the backfield. Shoemaker rolls back, has the screen set up again to Gibson.
A lot of running room.
But Handley made a good play too. He had a man blocked on his. And we also have a flag.
I think we're going to get a late hit right here, Larry.
You think that's what it is, or is it on the coach's staff? Looked like he threw it at the bench.
I thought he hit him awful late after he was down.
That could be what it is. That may be the reason the coaching staff is so all up in arms over there.
It is a personal foul,
and it is against Handley.
I thought he came in there awful late. I thought Gibson was down, and he just kind of come in there and just tried to finish him off while he was on the ground. This is not pro ball, and once you're down, you're down. You don't have to touch anybody. So
you know, Mark, we've talked about Handley has not had too many close games all year, and we wondered how they might react. These kids, you know, maybe feel a little pressure, a little tension here by the Blue Devils being able to move the football, score on.
Could be. They've not really had a close game. I see Paige Hughes is into the game for Matt Johnson at guard.
Ball spotted at the 25-yard line, 1st and 10. Power out formation again with Gibson standing tailback. Hand off to Gibson, and he runs a little slant. This probably gets back to the line of scrimmage. So it didn't look like Gibson ran with the head of steam that it had before that time.
No, he may have slipped a little bit, but give the judges credit. We had no room whatsoever over there to run the ball. Gibson really didn't have anything to stare him in the face except some muddy white jerseys.
Yeah. Blue Devils taking a timeout here. I believe that's our second timeout, which would only leave us with one before halftime. We've got 1:45 to go. Handley leads in the game 12-7. So far, Mark, while we've got this timeout, what's your impression of the way things have gone so far?
Well, I'm a little surprised and really a lot more optimistic. Of course, the Devils started off with bad field position, and Handley got a couple of breaks early. But as per usual, this Devil team don't quit. They've been in this situation several times, and now we're beginning to drive the ball and find out that we can move the ball. And any time that an offensive line can feel that they're getting some penetration off the ball and can move the defense a yard or two off the ball every time, it just picks up a tremendous amount of momentum for our line. I mean, the kids, the offensive line start believing more in themselves, and, you know, it causes a lot of confusion for the defense. They don't understand why all of a sudden we're moving the ball on.
Right. So it's 2nd and 10 now from the John Handley, looks like 24-yard line. Blue Devils, same formation, power out formation, but they put a back in motion this time with Fisher, hand off to Gibson, and he picks up about 3 yards on the play, up close to the 20-yard line, stopped short of the 20. We'll call it about the 21. That time out of that formation, we put Housewright, which was an up man, in motion to get a little lead block, I would say, wouldn't you?
Yes, I would. And I tell you, we need, Larry, it's important we come away from this. We're down under 1 minute and 20 seconds now. We need to come out of here with some points bad.
Blue Devils have a 3rd down and 7 here, and Handley with their linebackers will probably, they have about a 6-man line now. Shoemaker rolls to his right, throws the ball down the middle, has a man.
Intercepted.
Short, but it's intercepted by Handley. Interception was made at about the 5, and he got back to the 10-yard line before he's tackled.
And West Ford broke open right there for a second. The ball, not a well-thrown ball, but West slipped also. It could be if West could have held his footing right there, he could have come back to the ball. After he fell, it left only one man wide open. Unfortunately, it was one of the judges.
Looked like the pass was underthrown.
It was underthrown a tad. But, you know, the ball's wet, and we've seen Partlow underthrow the ball too. So the main thing is we need to hold them right here, go in 5 points down, and regroup here at halftime.
Ball was spotted at the 11, I believe, and Partlow hands off to Kern, and he dives across right tackle, picks up maybe 2 yards on the play.
And stopped in there that time was made by Brian Burke, and it's good play by Burke. They may be content to try to run the clock out right here, Larry, instead of trying to go for something big.
Yeah, I don't think they'll put the football in the air here.
Well, they get the ball the second half.
Right, they start out the second half.
They deferred, and they get the ball second half, but got to be some positive things at halftime go on in the Devils locker room. I know we've seen some positive things this quarter.
Yeah, I'm not even sure that Partlow's going to take a snap here. He's pointed to the clock. I believe it was less than 25 seconds left when and the clock has run out, and we are at halftime with John Handley, the judges from John Handley, leading the Blue Devils from Gate City with a score of 12-7. We'd like to tell you that Gate City Blue Devil football on STE Cablevision Channel 30 is brought to you by Magnolia Place, the place where you'll find the perfect Christmas gift on East Jackson Street in Gate City. By Weber City Drug Center, great prescription service also featuring UPS and fax for your convenience. By Nations Bank, with a new ATM at the Weber City office and great deals on private lines of credit throughout Scott County. By State Line Graphics, offering the best service for your printing needs, located in Weber City. By King Ford in Gate City, where you'll find the best prices on quality Ford cars and trucks. And by Roberts Tire and Recapping. Fall is a great time for new tires from Roberts like Firestone and Michelin. Blue Devil football is also brought to you by Doc Whitley Nationwide Insurance, by the Campus Drive-In, and by the Regional Education Program. Thank you to all the sponsors who help us bring you Blue Devil football on Channel 30. Well, Mark, I just probably read the sponsors when I wasn't supposed to, but I happened to look there, and I thought it's a good time to get a plug in for all these people. We've had people all year long that have sponsored our Blue Devils, have been very cooperative in sponsoring us, and it makes it possible for a couple old guys like me and you to get in here and do something like this.
Well, it does. And
you can never thank them enough.
You never can, and you know, it's important too for those out there that listen to the broadcast each week and get to watch the tape delayed replay. Be sure and get out and tell these sponsors how much you appreciate their sponsoring Blue Devil football.
Well, we'll take about a 5-minute timeout here, and then we'll be back with the stats in the second half and talk to Mr. Blanton a little bit more about what went on in the first half.
In one sentence.
It sure is. Mark, so far we were talking here as we had a break during halftime about the flow of the game. You and I talking along with Daniel Daugherty, who has been operating one of our cameras today, and Mark Peters, who helps out on the broadcast at WGAT radio and supplies us with, and has supplied us all year with stats, and does an excellent job on stats and an excellent job on the radio too, I'm sure. I just never get the opportunity to listen to him and to critique him like he can me, you know, because we're always working at the same time, and he gets by. But I'm sure Mark and Mike Long and Mike Bailey helps them over there. Have done a good job all year, and WGAT radio has been befriended us for many years. They've them and STE, I think, have a good relationship and work good together.
Well,
and,
it is a good relationship. I know they supply you or have supplied you with the stats at halftime at the end of the game for a lot of years here.
Yeah, they have. And But like I was getting ready to say, now we talked at halftime about what had transpired in the first half, and what's your observation? How do you feel that things have gone so far first half?
I think, as we said to start with, of course, turnovers will be a big part of the game with the conditions the way they are. And so far, the Devils have been able to make a couple of turnovers and capitalize on one of them. The Judges have capitalized on one. Field position in the first quarter was the key to the whole thing. After, and you said it earlier, after we got out of the shadow of our own end zone, the defense was able to rise to the occasion and shut the Judges down. And right now, I think the Judges probably are in a not really a shock, but I think they're a little bit of a misunderstanding. They've probably not found themselves in this situation many times, if any, this year by the scores they've won by. And the fact that the Devils were able to take the ball the second quarter and move the ball, and were moving the ball, was moving the ball when the half ended there right before the interception. Our offensive line has looked like to me has gained a lot of momentum, and we're pushing their guys back 2 and 3 yards off the ball every time. Now, what they've got to do, and I'm sure they're working on it over right now, is decide what has caused the explosion by our offensive line and how to shut it down.
That's a question I was getting ready to ask you. What kind of adjustments can Handley make at defense, at halftime on defense, to maybe shut this running game down?
Well, I think we can probably see and maybe expect to see more stunts or more blitzes by their linebacker. A couple of times or a few times they blitz. Of course, they caught Gibson, I know, once or maybe twice in the backfield, and they broke up a screen over there very well, which didn't have anything to do with a blitzing linebacker. But they can, in order to shut our running game down, they'll have to do something with their linebackers, given the fact that our offensive line keeps getting the momentum off the ball and pushing their defensive line back. They'll have to adjust with their linebackers and corners.
Well, Mark, let's talk a little bit about the stats that have been supplied to us by Mark Peters and Mike Bailey of WGAT Radio. In first downs, Gate City had 6 first downs. John Handley had 7. Gate City rushed the ball 22 times for 80 yards. Handley rushed the ball 13 times for 47 yards. Passes, Gate City attempted 4 passes, completed 2, had 1 interception for passing yards of 14. Handley attempted 15 passes, only completed 4, had 2 interceptions for 50 yards. Total offense, Gate City 94, Handley 97. Punts, Gate City punted 2 times for 28 yards. Handley punted no times, and that's a result of the penalty that we had on the
roughing the kicker.
On the roughing the kicker on the punt, so he's not credited with the punt, really. Fumbles, Gate City had 2 fumbles, lost 1. Handley had no fumbles in the first half. Penalty yards, Gate City was penalized 2 times for 30 yards. Handley penalized 4 times for 50 yards. Turnovers, Gate City had 2. Handley had 2. Individual rushing for the Blue Devils in the first half. Kevin Gibson carried the ball 16 times for 67 yards. Individual receiving, Michael Partlow had 3 catches for 35 yards and a touchdown. Now, I believe that ties Michael Partlow for a Virginia High School League.
I think it
another Virginia High School League record. Coming into the game, he only needed 3.
Yeah, I think that's right. I'll tell you, Larry, I think one of the things that shows me that the Judges were a little bit shocked by us being able to move the ball was they had 2 what I would call very unnecessary penalties, back-to-back penalties. They had a face mask, and then they had a late hit penalty over there, and you could see some frustration on the part of the Judges' defense. That tells me that they've not been in the situation very many times this year where they need to make a big play or need to shut something down, that they've been enough points ahead and had comfortable leads to where they haven't actually had their backs against the wall.
Well, I'd say Brian Partlow has had very few, if any, games where at halftime he's thrown 15 passes, only completed 4, and had 2 interceptions for only 50 yards.
Well, I'd say that's right, and I tell you, now he's had some receivers that's been open too, but the fact is that I think the key to the second half is they're going to come out, I think, and try in this first series to maybe put the ball on the ground a little more with the field conditions and the slop that we're playing in out here. And you know, I don't know how big the shoulder injury was to Partlow. Maybe his shoulder's bothering him. He's had some underthrown passing. He's had 2 or 3 passes thrown behind his receivers, and one I know was thrown too high.
Right.
And 2 of those resulted in interceptions.
Right.
So, you know, it could be they try to put the ball on the ground some here. And they've probably not found themselves in the position of where they have to put the ball on the ground. Rather, it's a luxury for them to put the ball on the ground.
Sure. I mean, with their offense, their ground game is just used as a surprise tactic, right?
It sure is, because anytime you've got a run and shoot type offense, it's a pass-oriented offense, and you call your plays and your audibles at the line. And I know he's called a lot of audibles, and some of them are not audible. Some of them are just actually play calls. The plays are signaled in from the sideline to him, and he calls them on the line. But the pace of this game, I'm sure, for the judges has slowed down a whole lot because of the weather situation and having to change balls between every play.
You know, Mark, we haven't had a chance today, but John Handley High School in Winchester, Virginia, the principal is John Taylor. The director of athletics is Jimmy Omps. The head coach is Ron Linden. He has assistant coaches Derek Dowry, Jim Gaynor, Tim Mondelli, Jerry Partlow, Tony Rayburn. The band director is Steve Lawrence, and of course their school colors are maroon and white, nicknames of judges. The Blue Devils, I think the key to the game, Mark, may be if they're able to come out and stop this first drive that the judges make, because they do receive the kickoff at the start of the second half. And if the Blue Devils can stop that drive and maybe get the ball in good field position, and that might put a little bit more doubt in the judge's mind and might inspire the Blue Devils to even greater heights.
Absolutely. And the thing about it is, I think the Devils go in at halftime with the knowledge that, hey, we can move the ball. We made a good drive. We can move the ball. We were driving before the interception. We can shut them down. They shut them down, and you know, if it weren't for the rough and the kicker penalty, they would force them to punt.
Right.
So the Devils have got to go in feeling pretty good, although they're 5 points down. That hey, we can come back out here, shut this bunch down, and then we can move the ball on them.
You know, Mark, it'd be nice if we had instant replay like the crew from Winchester may have here today with their live broadcast, TV broadcast back to Winchester. But I'd like to see that punt. And we had the top officiating crew at this classification doing this game, and an old friend of mine and yours, and our commissioner in baseball, Charlie Harkins, is down here in doing a service for the state of Virginia as he is supervising officials down here today. And I'm sure the officials had a whole lot better look at it than we do. We have to look, see what happens, and then try to see if the ball's punted or where it's going to hit. And it just kind of looked funny when it came out.
It was a very close play, and I'm not sure. I can't say for certain that the Devils got a hand on it, but Brian Burke was back in there, and I can't remember now who else was back there with him, but it looked like that Brian may have gotten a hand on it. It could just be that Partlow rushed the punt, and you know, on this in this muck out here, you can't stop. I mean, once you've got a momentum, there's no stopping on a dime. So it could just be a very good call by the official. I'm not. I'm not here to judge the official made a bad call. I'm like you. It looked like the punt came out funny, like we may have gotten a hand on it.
Yeah, all I was saying was it'd be nice to have all the facilities it takes to do live video back at our disposal. You know, where we got somebody queuing us up and said, "Look at the replay here." You know, but you know, we're only kidding. We're happy to be working where we are, and we really enjoy doing it. Gate City Blue Devil football on STE Cablevision Channel 30 is brought to you by Roberts Tire and Recapping. Fall is a great time for new tires from Roberts, like Firestone and Michelin. By Magnolia Place, the place where you'll find the perfect Christmas gift on East Jackson Street in Gate City. By Weber City Drug Center, great prescription service, also featuring UPS and fax for your convenience. By Nations Bank, with a new ATM at the Weber City office and great deals on private lines of credit throughout Scott County. By State Line Graphics, offering the best service for your printing needs, located in Weber City. And by King Ford in Gate City, where you'll find the best prices on quality Ford cars and trucks. And by the Regional Adult Education Program. You may be listening to this game today and remembering back to when you were in school. Those were the good old days. Many adults in our county left school before graduating. The Scott County public school system has free classes to help adults improve their basic skills. If you cannot read, we can help you. If you want to help your children with homework, we can help. If you need to pass the GED exam, we have classes for you. Call the Regional Adult Education Program today at 386-2433. Learning is not just for kids anymore. And Blue Devil football is also brought to you by Doc Whitley Nationwide Insurance, by the Campus Drive-In. Thank you to all the sponsors who helped bring us Blue Devil football on Channel 30. Mark, you and I talked about what we were going to talk about in this game. One thing that we failed to mention, this has been a tragic weekend, a tragic week this week in Scott County. We've had 5 lives lost in traffic accidents. 3 of those young men were students at Twin Springs High School, and we had a stepfather and a sister of a young man that is a member of this Gate City Blue Devil football that lost their life this week in a tragic accident on the highways. And you know, it kind of puts things in perspective a little bit. We're playing for a state championship game out here that's big. It's big for the area. It's big for the school, big for the kids. But there's also been loss of lives this week, and they directly relate to this football team. 2 of those directly relate to this football.
Well, it does, Larry, and our heartfelt sympathy goes out to the survivors of those families that lost loved ones. And it's certainly, you're right, it's a very tragic thing when you have a loss of life, but when you have 5 in the same day, in the same, and you know, it involves not only people in this community, but countywide. And I think everybody here certainly feels that, you know, sympathy for those families, and I'm sure they would like for us to express that to them.
Well, you know, Wes Fleming was the young man on the football team that lost his stepfather and his sister. And you know, right off the top of my head, I didn't write it down, but I can't remember all 3 of those young men at Twin Springs that lost their life. But it's been a tragic week at Gate City. You hope for some way that this community can pick themselves up and go on, and they will. This county will pick up and go on, but you hope that things can. You just hate to see anything like that.
Well, you do, and it's such. I mean, you know, it's hard on the students. I'm sure that you know, this week at Gate City High School, it was hard for the students to focus on their work and what they need to be doing because of the excitement. And in retrospect, it's been doubly as hard for the students at Twin Springs and at the Scott County Vocational School.
Sure.
For them to concentrate because of the loss of life of their close friends. So
the officials have gone to midfield to get the respective captains from each team to go through the just a matter of ceremony, really, for the second half kickoff, as Handley won the opening toss and deferred to the second half. I'm sure they're going to take the football, but we have 24 minutes left before the AA Division III state champion can be crowned. Right now, even though Handley leads in the ball game, it's anybody's game the way I look at it.
It is anybody's game. The Devils got to felt like, and the momentum, I think, going in at halftime had to belong to the Devils.
You know, Mark, something we haven't mentioned, but the crowd. We've got an excellent crowd here today. It's I'm sure the weather has probably cut it 1,500 to 2,000 people. I'm not a very good judge of crowds, but I would say there's in excess of 5,000 people here today.
I would think so. It's the biggest crowd I've seen at Gate City in some years. You know, of course, the Gate City fans are out in earnest every week, no matter where we play. But of course, I'm sure we've pulled some people out of Kingsport and some of the surrounding areas that have some ties back to Blue Devil football.
Right. The Blue Devils, like you said, have good support. It makes no difference where they are. The Handley, you talked about Handley support and the people that followed them down here and made the long trip and earlier in the game. And it's the way high school football championship should be. The stands should be full. The only thing that might be a little wrong is what the good Lord provided for weather. But Coach Colabro said the other day, football's made to play in all kinds of weather, and both teams have to play under the same conditions.
Well, that's right. And football's a game that was designed to be played in the elements. And,
right.
I tell you, that's what we've got today is elements.
It is. It's the entire center of the field is almost covered in water. The boundaries on both sidelines are pretty good as Matt McClellan prepares to kick off. And we have one deep back, I believe.
It's Johnson, I believe.
Stephon Johnson. It's a low kick, and Handley falls on the football at the 34-yard line. That almost paid off to Gate City's advantage.
He fumbled the ball a little bit, had trouble picking the ball up, and finally just fell on it. And I'm not sure if that was a design kick or where the Matt, in all the slop just might have slipped and kicked the ball.
Coverage-wise, and you played the game, it's a whole lot easier to cover 25 yards than it is 45 at top speed.
It
right?
sure is.
So Handley will take over at their own, we'll call it 34-yard line. Brian Partlow still the quarterback.
Devils and two down linemen.
Yeah, the Devils shifted into a different looking defense here. They hand off to Kern, and he breaks a tackle and picks up maybe 2 yards on the play up to about the 36-yard line, we'll call it. Maybe a gain of 3, closer to 4, really. He had a pretty good body lean on that mark, picked up a little extra yard.
He was tripped up there a little bit, maybe behind the line of scrimmage, and was able to keep his footing. I believe maybe Larry Jackson and maybe Jake Housewright tripped him up a little bit.
Yeah, we got Beasley in this formation is playing a defensive end here. In this defensive formation. Devils feint a blitz. Partlow on a keeper, rolls out to his left, and he's knocked out of bounds short of the first down marker. Looks like across the 40 at about the 43-yard line. It's going to be about 1.5 yards, 2 yards short of a first down.
And that was a design rollout run for Partlow all the way.
It was.
He just rolled and never had any intentions of putting the ball up.
That gives the judges a 3rd down and 1 with the ball spotted. We'll call it the 43-yard line of John Handley. Partlow calls his play at the line of scrimmage. Blue Devils shift their defensive front a little bit. Partlow hands off to Kern, and he's hit, and with extra effort, I think, picks up a first down.
I believe he's going to have it. Good job that time. I thought for a minute he was going to get tripped up behind the line.
Blue Devils hit him behind the line of scrimmage, but with his extra effort, he picked up a first down with about a half yard to spare. So ball spotted. Get these new teeth out, Mark. I'll be all right. Spotted directly on the 45 here.
Here, spit them out here and I'll hold them for you.
I couldn't say anything yet. I can't hardly now. Run and shoot offense here for the John Handley Judges. Brian Partlow, the outstanding quarterback of the Judges, on a quarterback keeper almost, a quarterback draw almost. Just struggles across the line of scrimmage, picks up about a yard. That's not really a quarterback draw because the quarterback goes back on the draw.
That's strictly a quarterback keeper. I'm a little surprised at that play call right there, Larry. At first down, I don't know what they were trying to, what they're trying to accomplish. Maybe catch the Devils off guard. It didn't work. Whatever it was, he only got about 1.5 yards. That's sort of a surprising call right here in this situation. Maybe they just like to get out of the muck.
Well, that may be it.
I don't know what it is.
We'll call the ball spotted at 40, their own 46-yard line. 2nd down, 8. They gave him about 2 yards on the play that time. Blue Devils do a little shifting with their defensive backs. And doing a lot of moving around on defense out here. Partlow drops straight back, throws the ball across the middle. And the pass is short and incomplete. And Partlow got, if he didn't have mud on it before, Mark, he can take a bath in it now.
He certainly can. He got knocked to his can, as you say. I mean, a big splash. Very poorly thrown pass that time, too, for Partlow. A lot of pressure.
It was.
A poorly thrown pass. Their receivers, Larry, and I know we talked about it earlier, they've got hand warmers on. They got their hands stuck in there. I'm sure that their hands are cold out there, and I'm sure Partlow is experiencing the same problem. Not only wet hands, but even though the temperatures are not bad, it's still a cold rain.
They take a wide receiver out and bring a tight end in. It's going to be 3rd down, and I'm going to call it closer to 9 than 8 here. Partlow takes a snap, drops straight back, throws a deep pass that has no...
Intercepted.
Mac Clayball has a lot of running room in front, and he's knocked out of bounds at the 33-yard line of John Handley.
And Larry, that's a ball that Partlow should have never thrown right there. His receiver was in no position. He just, I think maybe that was supposed to be another little timing passes down the sideline, and he underthrew him bad. And
you know,
Matt Clayball was the only wide open man out there.
I don't know. Partlow may be an excellent quarterback under dry conditions, but he hadn't impressed me throwing the football.
Well,
and I'm not throwing off on the kid.
No, he's a very good looking quarterback.
Oh, he is.
And I think you're right. I think the field conditions have dictated what's happened to him today so far.
Power I formation by the Blue Devils. Ball on the 34 of John Handley. Handoff, Gibson. Dives up the middle, picks up maybe 2 yards on the play. Blue Devils just running straight at Handley's defense.
They are, and I think Kevin just stumbled that time, slipped in the mud. I don't think anybody really got a hand on him. I think he just slipped in the mud that time. It's getting worse and worse, even on the sidelines or out of the center of the field on the sides.
The Blue Devils may have to put the ball in the air here a time or two. You hate to see it happen, but the last couple of times we've run the football, we haven't gotten the yardage that we did early on in that one drive.
A little confusion by the Devils on offense here.
Power I formation again. Shoemaker, long snap, handoff Gibson, and they're standing there waiting on him. He maybe didn't even get back to the line of scrimmage.
I don't think he did. He stopped in there that time by Jason LaRue, number 62, a 6'2", 201-pound senior, and I think that's supposed to be a little misdirect on our part that time, and it didn't fool anybody on the Judges' defense.
Right. It's we stayed with that basic power I formation just about ever since midway through the first half, and now the Devils, I believe, have put Hank Clayball back into the backfield. We've also had Lindsey Fisher and House right in. The Devils taking an extra amount of time here to get this play called. Could very well get a penalty if they don't hustle back to the line of scrimmage. The referee has already looked at his watch one time. Pro set offense here. Hank Clayball in the backfield. Unbalanced line. Shoemaker rolls to his right. Looks around, has a man downfield. That is McClellan, and the pass is intercepted for a touchback in the end zone.
Larry, that time I think Josh just almost had too much time to throw the ball. My goodness, he had all kinds of protection, and he was looking long. He wanted to go long to Matt McClellan all the way, and I think he finally just threw it up, hoping that Matt could out-jump the defender.
Yeah, I do too. He had Kevin Gibson open out in the flat that had a lot of running room.
He did, and you know, we're not going to second guess.
Easier for us to see up here than it is.
Well, it is. We're not going to second guess what Josh saw from down there, and his vantage points are all important one, not ours.
So the Blue Devils, unable to take advantage of that turnover, have given Handley the ball after the interception on their own 20-yard line.
And that was as good as a punt. If we not make the first down, you know, not really a whole lot lost there.
Blue Devils with looks like about a 6-man line and almost finding blitzes by their corners here, Mark. Move a lot of people up on the line of scrimmage.
Doing a lot of shifting right now. Now we're shifting out of that formation. Lineman shifting over.
Partlow drops straight back. Throws it
out of bounds.
Way out of bounds. Not even close.
He almost threw it into the bleachers over there.
Had double coverage on that receiver, though, I believe.
And Larry, it seems to me that Partlow, and you've seen it a lot, but it seems to me like these passes they're running now down the sidelines are just little timing patterns. I mean,
they're not.
He's just kind of laying the ball up there, trying to give his receiver a little chance to run under it.
About every pass they've thrown except the one or two slants here across the middle, one for a touchdown and one incomplete before. It's just been balls thrown up in there and said, you go get them. Second down and 10. Kern the back on a draw, runs a draw straight up the middle, got running yardage, and the Blue Devils hit him at about the 30, but I believe he has a first down.
He does. And that's a very well executed play that time. Kern just took his little counter step, waited for Partlow to stick the ball in there, and when he did, there was a hole there big enough in the center of the line that I guess me or you could have ran through.
Goodness, it'd have to be a big hole for me to get through.
That's a real big hole, huh? But for both of us, either one of them.
Yeah. First and 10 for the Judges at looks like about the 31-yard line.
I thought that'd be a pretty good assessment of how big the hole was. For people that know us, know it.
They know it's a big hole.
And they'd have to know it'd take a lot of time.
First and 10, 7:34 to go third quarter, and John Handley leads the Blue Devils 12-7. Partlow, the quarterback, hands off to Kern, and he's hit at the line of scrimmage and bounces off of a tackle, picks up about 3 yards on the play. He was hit almost right at the line of scrimmage and then twisted and turned, bounced off.
The initial contact, I think, was made by Matt Johnson, turned him around, and I'm not sure that Kern's not. Is that Kern down?
Well,
he hit him pretty hard and actually spun him around.
There's no way to tell right now.
There's not, but somebody's in pain out there, and I don't see Kern. I didn't see Kern get up. He may very well have, but I believe that's him on the ground.
That was a hard lick that time.
The initial contact made by Matt Johnson that time was.
If Johnson could have brought him down, is that a word? Could have brought him down.
Brought him?
Yeah, brought him sounds like.
Well, that's a good word for me. If it works for you, it works for me.
Southwest Virginia colloquialism.
Well,
it is Kern that was injured on the play, I believe, isn't it, Mark?
He is, and they're helping him off the field. He seems to be limping. He may have just gotten the breath knocked out. May have fell on the ball.
So we've got a new running back into the game. That's probably 42.
Yeah.
Well, Jerome Brooks.
I think he was worried more about how the crowd was taking it maybe later than he was injured.
Yeah, it seems to be all right now.
He's cheerleading down there now, so I suppose he's going to be okay.
Gain of 3 on the play makes it second down and 7 yards to go. Ball spotted short of the 35 at the 34. Partlow rolls to his right. He's under pressure. He's hit, spins away, and Blue Devils knock him out of bounds. They holler for a flag here, but
they're not going to get a flag on
it.
that, Larry. He was still in bounds and still trying to make yardage. Momentum of the Devils that hit him, that's very good by the officials right there. I think the fans and the coaching staff wanted a late flag, but Partlow's still struggling. You can't throw a flag on that when he's still trying to make yards.
Partlow did a good job on that running play. He broke 2 or 3 tackles.
I think he wanted to throw that ball. We had him for a big loss, but he was able to turn it into a short gain, wasn't he?
Third down and 4. Ball spotted on the judges' 37-yard line, looks like. The running back this time is Brooks. Is that all right? 42 Brooks.
Brooks.
Partlow has called timeout now as the Blue Devils shifted around. A little double coverage on this receiver over here.
Double coverage, and it's something that Partlow didn't like what he saw. He called a timeout. That's a sign of a good quarterback. That's also a sign that the Devils are making it tougher for him to get any kind of read on the defense.
You know, Partlow seems to handle defenses pretty good. It's like he reads defenses pretty good. We were talking about how he'd thrown the football a while ago. And like you said, conditions got a lot to do with that.
Well, conditions got everything to do with passing the ball today. And you and I talked about this before the game, and we touched on it, I know, Thursday, or maybe it was yesterday when we were talking when we heard the weather forecast. Rain could very well have worked in the Devils' favor. Then again, I've always felt like that if a quarterback could throw the ball, he knows where his receivers are going to be. They know where they're going. So if they're able to run their pass routes, it's hard for a defender to stay with them in the muck. So, but I think definitely today, I think it's thrown Partlow way off his mark today so far.
I would think that you'd have to. And I think the Devil defense had a lot to do with it.
Oh, yeah, I'm not taking away anything.
But to lay the ball up in the air the way he has, it can't.
That's what I'm basing on. He's just kind of throwing the ball up. He's not really hitting other than the slant ends, he hasn't hit anybody with a good pass.
Big play here for the Devil defense as they try to hold the judges short of a first down. It's 3rd and 4. They must make the 41-yard line before they can get the first down. They hand off to the running back, and he's come up and hit short by Matt Johnson, short of the 40.
That's Kern again back in the game, and Housewright tripped him up pretty quick that time.
Was that Housewright? I thought it was Matt Johnson. But,
no, 41. I believe that's Housewright.
So the ball, he only picked up about 1.5 yards on that play. He's going to make it 4th down and 3. And the other half of the twin combination.
So Partlow.
Partlow.
The Partlow tandem.
The Partlow tandem. Michael Partlow, their outstanding wide receiver, is also the punter. And You and I watched him in warm-ups. He really puts the ball up in the air.
He gets a good tight spiral on the ball. It turns over well. And
a high snap, and the Devils don't come with any yardage this time, but it's a line drive punt that splits our coverage and rolls inside the 20 down to the 15. So the Blue Devils backed up again in their own end of the field, looks like, at about the 15.
Well, that ball checked up that time sort of like a golf shot when it hit the ground, Larry.
Yeah.
It just kind of hit and died, as you'd expect it wouldn't that much water.
Yeah, you won't. You're not going to get a whole lot of roll out of anything today.
No, you're not.
So the Blue Devils, if they intend to go ahead on this drive, have about 85 yards to go before they can reach the judge's end zone. This football game a whole lot reminds me of the Tazewell playoff game here, Mark, other than we were down more than what we are later in the game. Shoemaker with Gibson in the backfield, hands off to Gibson, gets good yardage up across the 20 to about the 21-yard line. Real good run on the play that time.
Big hole that time in there by the right side of the line, Larry. If Gibson had a little better footing that time, I'm sure as all of them would, he could have got a lot more yards out of that.
It's Beasley and Becker on that right side. Probably Andy Smith in at the tight end spot, because I saw Ford come in on this play as Coach Colbro alternates his tight ends with the plays normally. But Smith's lined up on the left-hand side this time in his tight end spot, I believe.
And Ford is a wideout.
And Ford does go, and Shoemaker fumbles the football, and the Blue Devils fall on it. So the Blue Devils going to lose 2 or 3 yards here after being in pretty decent position. On second down, they lost 3 yards, and it's going to back it up now. Makes it 3rd and 8 just by not handling the snap on the.
I'll tell you that
on the play.
They're playing in the worst possible position on the field. The field's a lot better shape to the sides, but they're right in the middle of the field, and it's a swamp. I don't know anything else to call it. It's just a swamp.
Matt McClellan checks into the lineup this time for the Blue Devils. And the Devils seem to me to be taking an awful lot of time getting out of the huddle. They don't have too good a chance here to do anything other than pick up a first down, I would think. Shoemaker drops straight back, throws the pass up the middle. That is caught, I believe, by Matt Clayball.
And if they rule that a catch, and I believe they're going to, that's an excellent job of concentration on the ball by Matt.
It sure is, and he has more than enough for the first down.
His footing went out from under him. He was sliding away from the ball and never took his eye off of it.
And Shoemaker looked like he had seen him fall and just threw it to him laying on the ground. It was.
Well, I tell you, Shoemaker's and Josh is getting more time to throw the ball, and he's able to look around. Matt McClellan looked like he'd broken free over the middle that time too.
So the Blue Devils pick up a first down now on their own 37, we'll call it. Full house backfield, handoff this time to a new running back in the backfield, maybe Fisher to tailback spot. Benny Wolf at the fullback spot that time, and he picks up maybe a yard on the play. As Gibson may be getting a break here, maybe to get his wind back. Wolf reports back out, and let's see if Gibson comes back in.
Matt McClellan comes back in, and everybody's an official timeout. We got some helmet problems. Is that on the Devils?
Yeah, I believe that's one of the Blue Devils. I think it's Matt Johnson.
I believe it is.
I think what they're trying to do, though, these guys, is put windshield wipers on these face vests. This rain is starting to pick up in the intensity, and the fog's moving in, your Mark.
The fog is moving in, and everybody's scrambling between plays to grab a towel and wipe their hands and wipe their eyes. It's hard to see, Larry. I mean, you get mud in your eyes, you just can't see.
Second down and 9 with the ball spotted short of the 40, right on the 40-yard line. Handoff this time to Hank Clayball at the tailback spot, and he breaks across the 45, up close to 46.
And another big hole in the offensive line that time, or created by the offensive line, I should say, on the left side. That's over Matt Johnson. And who else is in on that side?
J.C. Oaks on that side.
Yeah. I knew J.C. Oaks was supposed to be there, but I thought I saw him check out there a while ago.
Also Andy Smith at the tight end spot on this side. So the Devils now with a 3rd and 2 at their own 46 would have to reach, looks like the 48 to get a first down, their own 48. Handoff. Hank Clayball, and he struggles and it's going to be short of the first down by about a yard, looks like.
And Larry, I thought a while ago, and I meant to make mention of this, a guy that we don't really get to mention a lot, and we don't give him a lot of credit where credit's due, and that's Jason Kilgore in there in center. I mean, there's a tremendous amount of pressure on the center to handle the ball in this game.
Yeah.
Even in a dry condition. But you're out here in the mud and the slop. There's a tremendous amount. Every exchange has to be there, and Jason's done a heck of a job all year, and he's doing a great job today.
I don't know that he's missed a play all year. I know Coach Calabro early on told me that he was injured and they wasn't sure, and he may have missed a few plays, but he's played almost every down, as has most of the offensive line, all the Blue Devils. Joey McBride stands back in punt formation. We've got 1:40 to go, third quarter. The judges lead the Blue Devils 12-7. McBride, a lot of time, an end-over-end punt that hit and skids and just dies at the, and that hit a Blue Devil, I suppose. I thought it hit one of their people, but it hit a Blue Devil, and it's going to be spotted at the 20-yard line.
Well, not a bad punt. When it hit, it kind of skidded and took off like like a rocket, and then it just died. But the judges put absolutely no pressure at all on McBride that time. They were just wanting to make sure that he did punt the ball and didn't try a fake. They're going to try to keep him getting that unnecessary penalty of roughing the kicker. And
you know, Mark, if we follow what we've done all year, this is a type game. I'm sure the Blue Devils they would like to be ahead in the score, but they would also like for the defense to be on the field probably now more so than their offense.
Well,
because that has been the side of the element of our football game that has probably been the best. Partlow hands off to the fullback, and he's hit, not wrapped up, struggles up, picks up another couple yards because we didn't wrap up on the tackle.
He stumbled backwards, looked like for about 3 yards after he was hit. I thought he was going down, and he didn't.
With about 4 on the play, it's Kern back in at the running back spot. I noticed, Mark, he spins a lot when he's hit.
He does, and a good back will do that. A good back will spin and twist, and that spin move's a real good move. You have to lock him up, or he'll spin right out of your arms and go on.
Brian Partlow with two wide outs left, split out way left. Blue Devils in coverage that really leaves the middle open. Hand off to Kern, and he's hit behind the line of scrimmage and only gets back to the line of scrimmage that time. Brian Burke in on the tackle, Matt Johnson, the two people that hit him in the backfield.
Right, and Brian Burke almost had him for a couple of yards lost, and I think Brian slung some mud there in disgust, the fact that he just couldn't hold on to him. I guess this would be kind of like a what they call a greased pig competition. You're trying to hold on to running back in this.
This is probably going to be the last play of the third quarter as we're down to, that is the last play of the third quarter. And we'd like to tell you that Gate City Blue Devil football on STE Cablevision Channel 30 is brought to you by Magnolia Place, the place where you'll find the perfect Christmas gift on East Jackson Street in Gate City. By Weber City Drug Center, great prescription service, also featuring UPS and fax for your convenience. By Nations Bank with a new ATM at the Weber City office and great deals on private lines of credit throughout Scott County. By State Line Graphics, offering the best service for your printing needs, located in Weber City. By King Ford in Gate City, where you'll find the best prices on quality Ford cars and trucks. And by Roberts Tire and Recapping. Fall is a great time for new tires from Roberts like Michelin and Firestone. And by the Regional Education Program. When you may be listening to the game today and remembering back to where you were in school, those were the good old days. Many adults in our county left school before graduating. The Scott County Public School System has free classes to help adults improve your basic skills. If you cannot read, we can help. If you want to help your children with homework, we can help. If you need to pass the GED exam, we have classes for you. Call the Regional Adult Education Program today at 386-2433. Learning is not just for the kids anymore. And Blue Devil football is also brought to you by Doc Whitley Nationwide Insurance and by the Campus Drive-In as we start the fourth quarter with 3rd down and 6, and Handley has the ball on their own 24-yard line as Partlow rolls out to his left, has a man in the open, and the pass is complete and driven out of bounds at about the 31. It's going to be, depending on the spot, it's going to be close here, Mark.
It is.
It's short, I believe, of the first.
It looks like it may be short, Larry. Handley is signaling first down. he had to come back for that ball. If the ball's delivered when he makes his cut, it's no doubt it's the first down,
right.
But he had to come back for it.
Well, it looks like a ball spotted right on the yard line, and the marker on the other side of the field is in advance of the yard line. So
it's hard to tell all the way across the field at this angle, but they're going to measure. It's hard for everybody to tell.
Big decision right here. Well, it's not really a big decision for the officials. You got when it's like this, you've got to ask for the measurement.
You do. You don't have any choice. You have to appease both sidelines in this situation.
Yeah, that was the best pass he's thrown, I think, in the second half. It's just a little down and out, and the receiver came back for the football like you so eloquently, if I could say eloquently, described in your narration there, Mr. Blanton.
Well, I think sometimes
fourth down after the measurement.
Sometimes on the weekend I go home and read a dictionary. And
do you? You do well.
As I'm sure everybody that listens to this can tell, I've really read a lot of dictionaries my lifetime.
So this is a big call here with fourth and less than a yard, and it looks to me as if the judges may. Well, we can't say because the punter is a wide receiver, which is part low, and we'll see.
I think we're looking.
They may be trying to draw the Devils offside here. I can't believe this deep in your own territory that you're going to go for it, but
not when you're up in the game and it's just late.
Right. So I would think he did go for it. I believe he may have gotten. Partlow kept it on the keeper that time, and he did get the first down. So a big gamble by the coaching staff from the John Handley judges.
Well, right now they're wanting to keep our offense off the field. They need to control this. They need to control the clock right now. They've got a 5-point lead, and at this point with the rain coming down like it is, they're not so concerned as how it looks as they are as long as it looks,
right.
As long as the score's right on their side of the board.
We have 11:36 to go in the football game, the Group AA Division III State Championship game, and John Handley leads the Blue Devils 12-7. Partlow hands off to the running back, and he spins and breaks tackles, but eventually only picked up about a yard. We had him stopped for no gain at one time.
And it's just hard to wrap up right now. And I say wrap up, it's hard to wrap up their running backs, or their running back. They don't have backs,
right.
They just have one. But Devils doing a good job getting penetration and getting back in there to him. Just can't hardly wrap him up and get him for that loss.
You know, Kern looks like a young man that has big thighs, strong legs, look like.
Well,
it would be a fullback in most sets, I would think, would you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's not, he hadn't shown to be a real punishing type runner, or maybe like Kevin Gibson is, but
right.
He's certainly got good agility and good balance.
Second down and 9. Partlow throws the pass out in the open into the right flat out there that's overthrown. Pass was intended for number 81, Danny Westfall, who really was open at that time. Had a step, I believe, on maybe Matt Clayball out there.
He did, and I think maybe I
believe Benny Gibson rolled out from his linebacker spot to help on the coverage that time, but that does the Blue Devils a favor and stops the clock with 10:37 to go in the game.
That ball there was overthrown.
It was overthrown. But they threw it a long way, too, threw it across the field, so as these people will be able to see on the replay tomorrow. By the way, tomorrow the replay will be at 3 o'clock on Sunday and 6:30 on Tuesday afternoon. You can tune in for this AA State Championship game. They run the draw this time again to Kern, and the Blue Devils do a good job. They hit him from behind and make a big tackle. Beasley that time caught him from behind, Mark, and
he did. And Larry, that's the first time I've had a chance to look at that draw play up close. Kern takes a counter step, holds his hands there, and actually Partlow sticks the ball in from the back.
From behind.
From behind.
Yeah,
he
I noticed that early on.
From behind. And Devils read it and shut it down real good.
The Blue Devils here now drop Hank and Matt Clayball back at their own 30, and Michael Partlow has dropped back to do the punting chores for the judges. Partlow gets off a low punt that's going to hit short and just dial like one of my wedges.
I'd love to be able to hit a shot like that in golf and make it just stop right where it is.
If I could stop it at the hole.
I'll tell you. Yeah. Well, my problem is mine always stop usually before it gets off the ground.
The ball just died as it hit the middle of the field in between the 35 and the 40, and they're going to spot it at about the 38, Gate City's own 38-yard line. So the Blue Devils now need one of those patented drives here that would take 9 minutes and 41 seconds and score at the end. That's what we've got left. 9:40 to go in the fourth quarter. The Devils trailing the game by 5 points. Matt Clayball goes in motion. Shoemaker rolls to his left.
All kinds of
time, but he's going to have to pull the ball down now and run and picks up good yardage and a good block on the far sideline from Matt Clayball. And he goes out of bounds after a gain, I believe, of right at 5 yards, Mark.
And good coverage that time by the judges. There wasn't really anybody open, and and a great job by the Devil offensive line. Lord, he had all day to throw the ball.
You got a new set, too?
Yeah, I just got mine this week.
Did yours come in the mail like mine? A gain of 4 on the play makes it 2nd down and 6. That spots the ball now at the... I'm guessing, I'd say 43-yard line. Of course, I've been guessing for years on this.
I'll tell you what, today's a day where it doesn't make it. You can see the 40 and the 50 and guess at everything in between.
That's right. Blue Devils run and shoot offense, put Matt Clayball in motion. Again, they hand off on a dive play to Gibson, and he struggles across the 45 up to about the 47. Going to be about 3 yards short of the first down. Looks like they need to get it to about the 48 and a half to get a first down, and the Devils sure this may have to be 2-down territory for them, Mark.
I think so. And I think the Devils have to, the coaching staff has to realistically look at taking 2 downs. Or I know we'd like to make it on this one, but you can't give up the ball right here this late in the game.
With only 8 minutes, 47 seconds to go in the game.
You have to keep this drive alive.
Got to. Blue Devils, let's see, with the power eye set again with Housewright, Fisher in the backfield, and Gibson the standing tailback. The linebackers show blitz. Gibson dives across the 48 up to about the 49-yard line. 1st and 10, Blue Devils.
Real good run that time by Gibson, and I see one of the judges' defensive men down. Larry, I tell you, as this game wears down,
Handley may wear down.
Handley may wear down, and I really believe that from what I've seen late here in the game, they may not hardly be in as good a shape as the Devils are physically.
Well, Mark, by looking at some of the scores they've had over the regular season, they probably had an opportunity to play a lot of young people.
Oh, I'm sure.
And probably had an opportunity. The varsity may not have, the starters may not have had to play more than 3.
Yeah.
Boy, I'm coming up with some new words.
I know, that's great, too.
To play more than 3 quarters. we could sell it to Looney Tunes.
Oh, I tell you.
But, you know, a team like that, it has put a lot of points on the scoreboard. Unless it's just one of those teams that really like to run up scores and keep their starters in.
That's true, and that's
which most people don't do because they want to get experience for the younger people.
Absolutely, and Larry, that's Keith Colbert, their left offensive tackle, one of the biggest men on their line.
Blue Devils now have it 1st and 10, just short of midfield. The ball is about one length of the football short of midfield. Shoemaker back giving encouragement to his up backs. Long snap. Their linebackers show blitz. They hand off to Gibson. He breaks across midfield and only picks up maybe 2 yards on the play.
And Larry, they're trying to strip the ball that time from Gibson. All important right now, and I'm sure that the coaches has told them at halftime, you must hold on to the ball. Right here, it's crucial. You have to guard the ball right here.
You know, Mark, I don't know where it's the weather or whether it's our headsets or what, but I can't hear a great amount of fan participation. I'm sure there is from a Gate City side. It's just across the way and we can't hear it. And I guess there's quite a bit here. We just can't. We're blocked out by our headsets. But Blue Devils the same power formation. This time they hand off to Gibson. He gets a big hole, drives up across the judges 45 down to about the 44. Is going to be about a yard and a half, 2 yards short of the first down.
It is, Larry, and this is just good smash mouth Devil football right here.
It is. It's saying you're going to line up at and come straight at you, you got to stop.
Right.
We got 7:14 to go.
And the Handley players are turning into cheerleaders. I think they're disappointed that their crowd's let down on them too.
Well, you know, they have. This crowd over here has been real quiet on this side. Blue Devils 3rd and 3 yards to go at the Handley 44-yard line. Shoemaker, handoff. Gibson on a little quick opener this time, and he's going to be close to a first down by the line judge over there that I'm looking at on the far sideline, if he's the guy that's going to spot it. I would think. Well, he says 4th down, and that looks awful close to me, Mark, from your. If I were a Gate City captain, I'd ask for a measurement, I believe.
I would, you know, if nothing else, to get a little breather, too, here.
So this could be...
this may very well be the play of the game.
Could be the play of the game for the Blue Devils here. They need, looks like, without a measurement, less than a yard, or right at a yard here for a first down at the Handley 42-yard line. They must reach the 41, 40 and a half, I believe, to do it. And a full house backfield, and Gibson goes in motion. And Shoemaker keeps it and dives up to the 40, should be first down.
And Larry, they pulled their linebackers up in there tight that time to shut down that play, and Shoe takes it right over the right side.
And right over the man that you mentioned a while ago, for the Devils, Jason Kilgore. Right off of Jason Kilgore's right hip and Chad Beasley's left hip, and just dove for the first down.
It's good to see him. It's a good play. They set Gibson in motion. I'm sure that Handley had on their mind that Gibson was going to get the ball again.
We're down to 5:52 to go, and the Blue Devils driving. Are in Handley territory, trailing in the ball game 12-7. One back set this time with Matt Clayball in motion. They hand off to the fullback Gibson, and he's hit at the line of scrimmage. No gain.
No gain. And
so for the first time on any play of this drive, I think we've come up with no gain at all on first down.
Well, Larry, I'm a little bit surprised too. Of course, we're moving the ball right up center, running straight at them, so you really don't want to get away too much from that scenario. Right. I wouldn't be surprised right here with this play or the next play to see us pull out the option.
You might be right. It worked one time for us. Matt Johnson, I noticed, has checked back into the lineup for the Blue Devils here after getting some rest. We're down to 5:05 to go in the ball game with the Blue Devils trailing 12-7. But in some sorts of a drive on the Handley 40-yard line. Power eye set this time. Shoemaker does run the option, pitches to Hank Clayball, and he loses yardage on this back inside the 40 at about the 41.
Well, the thing, I don't think that, I think the thing that made the play that time, Larry, was whatever that guy's number is out there covered in mud. He just caught Shoe before he pulled out from under center.
Yeah.
And when Shoe pitched the ball back to Hank, there just wasn't anywhere to go.
You know, that...
I don't think that was a bad call. I just think the fact that...
a big defensive play by their defense, and that puts us down to under 4:20 to go in the game, and the Blue Devils have a 3rd and 12.
Looking at a passing situation.
Looking at a passing situation, and I'm sure Handley knows that too. So
well, they drop their linebackers back off the line.
Look like they may come with a corner blitz here on this side. Shoemaker rolls to his right. His arm is hit as he attempts to throw the football, and the ball falls incomplete. So the Blue Devils now, without a doubt, down to a very, very big down with 4th and 12 yards to go and only 4 minutes to go in the game as they trail 12-7 in the AA state championship game, Division III. And the Blue Devils, with all the yardage that they have to go, are going to punt the football. And I don't think that's too bad a play,
Probably
even though
not. You've
only got 4 minutes
Probably
to go.
not. And if the ball's going to hit...
You're going to back them up.
Right. If the ball doesn't hit the end zone, it's going to die right there if they don't field it. So this may be a very good call right here. There's a lot of time on the clock.
4 minutes to go. The clock stopped and won't start until the ball snapped. Lindsey Fisher, the deep snapper. A good snap. And the punt is a low line drive. It's fielded and broken outside, and the Blue Devils stop him short of the right at the 20-yard line, I believe.
And that's a good choice on
Partlow. I believe Partlow's the one that called it.
No, it's not. It's Westfall.
Yeah,
that's a good choice on Westfall to field that ball.
Because it's right at it.
It was right at him. It was a line drive, and if he don't field the ball, chances are it's going to stop inside the 5.
So John Handley will take over with under 3:50 to go in the ball game, and they lead in the game 12-7. Blue Devil defense here may have to capitalize. If they have a chance to win the game, they have to capitalize on a turnover. Handley, for the first time, Mark, running out of the I formation today.
It is first time we've seen the I.
With the fullback in there, and they hand out to the tailback, sweeping left, and a big hole. Breaks out into the open, breaks tackle after tackle up across the 40 to the 42-yard line. That's got them out of the hole in a hurry there.
They did. It's a big run that time by Kern, and they set in the eye. A good lead block that time for Kern, Larry, and gave him a big opening to run through, and he capitalizes very well.
Yeah, I believe that's Jerome Brooks that's in at the fullback spot, and he got a big lead block that time. So Handley picks up a first down across their own 40 at the 42, and that gets the clock inside of probably 3 minutes by the time the ball snapped. They have the Blue Devil defense spread out because they still spread out those receivers.
All right.
They hand off this time to fumble on the football, and I believe Partlow has recovered. Very advantageous recovery that time for Partlow because it laid on the ground by itself for a while.
It did, and I thought one of the Devils had a shot at that ball for a second. I couldn't see who it was, but I thought I seen a blue jersey in there around it, and I guess the luck of the bounce bounced right back toward Partlow.
The Blue Devils have called a timeout here with 2:47 to go in the game. This has been probably a traditional type Southwest Virginia football game because it's been a game it's been mostly defense than it had more so than it has offense.
Well, it sure has, and
I believe that's because of conditions.
The conditions, the weather conditions, and also, you give credit where credit's due. The Devils' defense have turned the ball over, 2-3 times?
If I'm guessing, I'd say 4. They had 2 in the first half. I know they got 1 in the second half.
Yeah, and that's, the thing about it is that I think it took the judges out of their game plan, I'm sure, because their game plan is in the run and shoot is to throw the ball. But Partlow's not been effective as a passer today. He's had some good passes, but then his receivers have made some good catches for him.
And I think this young Blue Devil team has given a very good representation of their abilities out here today because they've held up well to a team that was 13-0, and this game's not over yet. 2:47 to go.
Well, they have to make a first down.
Second down on 11. I believe Gate City still has 2 timeouts left, I would think. I don't believe we've taken any before that. I formation again. Hand off to the tailback, and he's hit just against the line of scrimmage. He looked to me like he had to pull the ball off of his thigh that time, Mark. It was handed off low.
I'll tell you what, now, I'll be surprised because they're going to have to put the ball up, I believe, Larry. They've got, third down and 10 now. They got maybe a yard on that. I know they want to keep it on the ground here, but I believe they're going to have to put the ball up.
Well, the Blue Devils have called another timeout, and I believe they only have. I believe the official said that told Coach Housewright when he came out to talk to his Chargers that time, and he only has 1 timeout left. So Gate City, if John Handley doesn't get a first down here, can stop the clock one more time and force them to punt, which would only leave probably around 2 minutes on the clock by the time the Devils got the football back.
These next 2 plays are definitely our 2 biggest defensive plays. To have any shot at winning the game now, we have to stop this right here.
Let me ask you something. Could you blitz here on this play, Mark, from your defensive set?
Well, you can.
And hope to cause a fumble if it's a running play, hope to throw the quarterback if it's a passing play. I've got to believe they're going to keep the football on the ground because the clock's our ally.
It is, and I think our linebackers have to respect the fact and stay back, and they still lack 10 yards. So
yeah, they've got us spread out here with their receivers, and Partlow's calling his play at the line of scrimmage. And they run an option left, and break tackle after tackle, and going to get into Blue Devil territory across the 40 and pick up a first down, and that very well may have ended the Devils' chances right there.
It could have. That's a big first down. They hit him, and couldn't wrap him up. He kind of stumbled forward, got his footing back, and made a good run that time.
He did. That was a good call, I thought, by their their offensive coaches that time, they kind of had us outnumbered over here on this side, and they ran the option to our left side. And if you're able to make the tackle, you probably stop them. But if you don't, it turned into big yardage. So they have a first down in Blue Devil territory at the 36-yard line. They're back in an I formation. The Devils are down to 1 timeout. The clock's down to 2 minutes, 15 seconds. And Brian Partlow is going to milk every second out of the clock that he can. They blitz that time and charge and throw him in the backfield for a loss of about 3 yards on the play, but the clock's still running with less than 2 minutes to go in the game, and the Devils, like we said, only have 1 timeout.
It is, and I don't know where Partlow missed the handoff that time, or if that was designed, it was awful slow developing.
Yeah, I think it's probably just hold on to the football, scramble around your backfield, and go down. Just let the clock run.
May very well be.
He didn't look like he intended to hand the football off to anybody, and looked like the Devils blitz trying to cause a fumble.
Right.
So it's second down and 13 yards to go. We only have 1:30 to go in the ball game, in the championship game here for AA, Division III. I formation. They pitch on the option play to
Kern, I believe it is.
Kern that time from his tailback spot, and he slips after he gains maybe a yard. It's third down. The clock is down to 1:12, and the officials have stopped the timeout to clean off and clean out the eyes of an offensive lineman from Handley. And the people over here won't know how come you stop the clock, but it was for one of their own players. Yeah. We're under a minute to go, 55 seconds. Blue Devils can only stop the clock one more time.
Well, do we have a timeout?
I believe the referees, we may not have.
Well, they're letting it run.
We're down to 44 seconds, third down and 13 yards to go. And they may even take a penalty here just to let the time run off.
They may do it.
I formation. Partlow hands off to the tailback, and he's hit at the line of scrimmage by Matt Johnson and stopped after no gain.
And the Devils take their final timeout.
29 seconds to go. With fourth down coming up, and Gate City probably down to only one hope here. If they go back to punt formation, you got to block it and run it in.
I don't know if they'll punt the ball here.
I don't either. I
don't think, as a coach, I don't believe I punt this ball.
I believe I just go to the ground, kneel, and let the clock give them a football there and say you got to defend the field. You know, say I'm going to defend the field for 65 yards and 25 seconds or whatever's left.
I just don't believe they're going to punt this ball. No, I don't think a good. So there's no advantage kicking from here. If he gets off a good kick, we're going to get it at the 20, and the only thing they're going to do is take a little more time off the clock, and the clock's their ally right now anyway. It's all in their favor. So
right.
Well, Larry, the Devils have put up a brilliant game. They come in here, I'm sure, somewhat as an underdog to this team, and
oh yeah, I would think
they've you know, along with the weather, but give credit where credit's due. The Devils have pretty much taken them out of their game plan.
Well, I'm going to tell you something else about John Handley too. John Handley is not just an offensive team. I think they had a pretty good defensive team. I think the Devils took it at him for a while.
Right.
But I think they made some adjustments at halftime that has helped their defense and shut Gate City's running game down.
Well, they did, and you know, that's good coaching on the part of Handley's coaches to figure out what they need to do and get their kids in the right position to do it.
Now Partlow is going to go under center and take the snap, and he's going to roll out to his right and roll and probably kill as much time as he can before he goes down with 22 seconds to go. So, Mark, you made a good call. Handley wasn't interested in wasn't interested in punting or interested in throwing the football. Naturally, they just wanted to run a little clock, so he rolled him out to his right.
Well, at that point, it's advantageous to them just to take some more time off the clock and let their defense work right here.
So the Blue Devils with 20 seconds to go when the clock is snapped. Shoemaker rolls straight back. He's got a lot of pressure. We got a tight end pass, screen pass to West Ford with blockers out in front. He gets a block over here, and he's got a man down here if we can block him. Ford runs hard and goes out of bounds with 5 seconds to go. Inside the 15 at about the 18-yard line. So the Blue Devils will have one more play That play almost went for the whole ball of wax, buddy.
One guy knocks West Ford out of bounds to save the game for Handley.
He sure did.
That was a great call by the Gate City offensive coaching over there.
And great blocking by that offensive line.
He got an excellent block. I believe it was by Kevin Gibson. I'm not sure that that's who it was, but somebody, and you'll be able to see it in the replay, made a great block for West Ford over on the right side.
Well, Mark, Blue Devils have one play from the, looks like, what, about the 18-yard line.
All right.
It's going to have to be a pass play more than likely. And they have a shot. Anytime you get in the game, you want an opportunity to win it. They've got an opportunity to win it. May not be the greatest opportunity in the world, but they have a shot.
That's all you can ask for is the opportunity. And Larry, the Handley team is sort of out on the field right here, which is a violation, which I'm sure well,
they called a timeout, so he brought them over, I think, on the sideline.
Right, but I'm talking about their players that's not in the game have to stay back. But I'm sure, as any referee would in this situation, is going to turn his head to the minute calls and concentrate on making the correct call out here in the game.
Well, these young Blue Devils have struggled back, so with 5 seconds to go, they put Matt Clayball wide right. Let's see who we have in. We have West Ford in at the tight end spot, and Shoemaker, an unbalanced line right. Shoemaker drops straight back, throws the ball across the middle, behind Matt McClellan, incomplete. But there's 1 second left. McClellan was running a slant across the middle there, and if the ball's in front of him, it may go, Mark.
That's right. He catches that ball. If Matt catches that ball, if the ball's thrown in front of him, the Devils pretty much win the game right there. But the important thing is it gets them one more play, Larry.
It does. One more play. Mr. Hartsock has checked into the lineup for Bo Hartsock has checked into the lineup for the Blue Devils here with 1 second to go. Shoemaker trying to charge up his offensive line and his receivers. Shoemaker straight back, a lot of pressure. He scrambles out to his right. Run, throw the football. The ball is batted down, incomplete. The pass was intended for West Ford, I believe, in the end zone. Is that Ford? And yeah, it is Ford. And John Handley has won the AA Division III state championship as the Blue Devils come up short on 2 pass plays from the 18-yard line to not able to get the ball into the end zone.
No, and that's a very good play. Handley handled defense very well. Everybody was covered, and Shue just had to throw it up at the last moment, which is all he could do. And give credit where credit's due, Larry. This Handley bunch they've got a good football team. I don't think that maybe we've seen them play up to the potential they're able to play up to. But on the other hand, the Devils played a heck of a game as they have all year, and they played from the heart all day.
Well, they did. They fought back and gave herself a chance with a brilliant call on the tight end screen to Ford that almost went all the way. And with 5 seconds to go, they had 2 plays. The first pass was behind Matt McClellan, behind him with no chance to catch it on the slant. And that left 1 second to go, and then Shoemaker just had to scramble, and they had their linebackers back, all their defensive backs back in the end zone because there's no need of throwing it short of the end zone. You got to throw it into the end zone for a touchdown.
Well, that's right.
And Shoemaker just put it up and hoped our receiver, which was in that case was West Ford, could out-jump those people, and they just stepped in front and batted it down. So it was a very exciting football game, the way a championship game should be played, with one team having an opportunity to win the ball game on the last play of the game.
It was. You can't ask for a much more exciting game in high school ball than this. And as you would expect, 2 teams that have advanced to the final game, like you said, it's the kind of game it should have been.
Oh, yeah. It was a great football game, I think, more so defensively than offensively.
Right.
But in the end, Handley's defense came up with a big play that stopped the Blue Devils from winning the football.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of heartbroken Devils out there, but I tell you, I don't see any heads hanging.
I don't either.
Their heads up, and listen, if you get a chance, be sure and go out. I know I, for one, and we've talked about, especially the last couple of games, you got to be proud of what these kids have accomplished. They've played from the heart. They've played hard. They played an extra, lacking 1 game, playing an extra half a season.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
man, it just says so much for this bunch of kids and their parents, the coaching staff, and you know, I just can't brag on this bunch enough. I'm just lost for words.
I think if you and I and a whole lot of people in this area never thought that this team would make it to game 14. We just had too many holes to plug. They've struggled through a losing part of the season there after getting 5 wins in a row, and came back and made it through the first 3 playoff games and had an opportunity with 1 second to go to win the football game.
That's right, and like you said earlier,
that's all you can do.
That's all you can ask for is in a game of this magnitude. You just ask for the opportunity to be in it at the end.
That's right.
And Gate City was in the game all day.
And all these young men that's sitting over there on that bench that will be back here for another year or another 2 years remaining before they graduate will remember this, and that experience, even though they may not have been on the field, that experience of being here with a chance of winning the AA state championship game will linger in the back of their minds, I would think, for give them something to build on for next year.
It will, and the thing about it is, as you can hear the crowd as they're starting to make the presentation, or have made the presentation of the championship trophy, the thing it is that it's done, like I said, it's given us almost another half a season of ball. It's got a bunch of experience and playoff experience that you can't place a value on to these kids in the next year or two.
You know, there's just one question, Mark. What are you and I going to do between now and whenever we're able to get back together?
Well, I don't know. That's a good question.
We'd like to thank this whole STE crew. We got Mitch Taylor standing behind us here ready to tear us down and wrap us up for another year. He's done an excellent job of engineering our production all year long. We took another young man with us last week as Mitch was out in the county killing all the deer, so I wouldn't have any left. But we took Terry Holt with us last week in our game, and he engineered it for us. We'd like to thank Daniel Darty, who has been one of our camera people all year. Gwen, of course, has run the camera and produced it and directed it. We've had Matt Grinzel, who's been one of our camera people, and Tammy McGee. Tammy did a lot of games early on for us, and we'd like to thank that whole crew, along with P.J. Grinzel, who did most of the regular season play-by-play, and I'd like to thank you, Mark, for stepping in the Virginia High game and doing it for P.J. and stepping in here in the last 2 games of the playoffs, and I really enjoyed it. Hope we have the opportunity to work together again sometime.
Well, I hope so too, Larry. It's been a thrill for me, and it's been just a great working atmosphere. And I want to say that everybody at STE and especially thanks to you made it very easy for me because you know, as most people can tell, I'm sure I'm a wholehearted rookie at this, and it's been a lot of fun, and I want to thank everybody that's made it real easy for me to step in here and work with you. And I know we've joked a lot, and I've rode you pretty hard at times. I just want to tell you that I probably meant every word of it, you know.
Well, I'd say you did. Let's look at the final game stats, and then we'll tear this thing down until next year. In first downs for the game, Gate City had 10, Handley had 12. Rushes, Gate City rushed the ball 38 times for 112 yards. Handley 34 times for 122 yards. Passes, Gate City attempted 10, had 4 completions, 1 interception for 77 yards. Handley attempted 20 passes, 5 completions, 3 interceptions, only 56 yards. Total offense, Gate City 189, Handley 178. Punts, Gate City had 4 for 28, Handley had 2 for 38. Fumbles, Gate City had 3 fumbles, lost 1. Handley had 1 fumble and didn't lose it. Penalties, Gate City had 2 for 30, Handley had 4 for 50. Turnovers, Gate City had 3, Handley had 3. Score, Handley 12, Gate City 7. Kind of like the stats. They were pretty even, but John Handley has won the Division II, Division III,
Attaboy.
Group AA state championship. So
well, Larry, I think before you close out, I think the big thing early was the field position, and Handley made that field position on a big turnover early. You take the first quarter out of play, and I think the Devils are on top.
Well, Mark, until next year, this is Larry Shelton and
Mark Blanton
signing off for STE Channel 30. We'll see you again next football season, hopefully, as we can come out and back these young Blue Devils to maybe another Group AA Division III state championship.
Absolutely.
See you again next year.